राज्यपाल माननीय श्री रमेश बैस जी का आगमन हो चुका है। आपकी गरिमामय उपस्थिति का इस आयोजन को लाभ हुआ है। हम सभी अपने आप को भाग्यशाली महसूस करते हैं और आपको साभार नमन करते हैं। राष्ट्रसार दीप प्रज्वलित कर समारोह का उद्घाटन हो रहा है। दीपेन लोकान जयति दीपस्तेजोमयः स्मृतः चतुर्वर्ग प्रदोदीपन तस्मात् दीप यजेत प्रिय। दीप तेजोमय है, दीप से जय तथा मोक्ष दीप दिलाता है और इसीलिए दीप प्रज्वलित करना चाहिए। जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं, दीप ज्ञान का प्रतीक होता है। समारोह का उद्घाटन हो श्री समीर सुमैया, प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट आईएमसी, इन सभी महानुभावों को मंच पर आने की विनती करती हूँ और राज्य शिष्टाचार के अनुसार राष्ट्रगान के साथ इस आयोजन का आरंभ होगा और उसके तुरंत पश्चात महाराष्ट्र गीत बजाया जाएगा। महाराष्ट्र गीत और राष्ट्रगान के सम्मान में सभी खड़े हो जाएं।
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
जय हिंद। जय महाराष्ट्र। नमस्कार। आईएमसी चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री की ओर से राजभवन के इस ऐतिहासिक शानदार दरबार हॉल सभागार में उपस्थित सभी का, विशेष रूप से मंच पर विराजमान माननीय राज्यपाल श्री रमेश बैस जी का आईएमसी के तृतीय ईज ऑफ लिविंग सम्मेलन के उद्घाटन समारोह में मैं मानसी तहे दिल से स्वागत करती हूँ। आईएमसी चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री के अध्यक्ष श्री अनंत सिंघानिया जी से मैं स्वागत संबोधन हेतु अनुरोध करती हूँ। श्री अनंत सिंघानिया जी।
Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, respected Shri Ramesh Bhai Sahib, Commissioner Police Shri Vivek Phansalkar, IPS, Shri Samir Samaiya, President-elect, IMC, and Mr. M.K. Chauhan, Chairman of the Ease of Living Committee, respected speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to each one of you at the 3rd IMC Ease of Living Conference 2023. It's with great honor we welcome our chief guest, the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, respected Shri Ramesh Bhai Sahib. Aapko Sadar Pranam. Your Excellency, thank you for gracing this event with your august presence. The IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry has had this strong and abiding relationship with the government of Maharashtra for several decades. Your presence at this event is truly heartwarming, and thank you for hosting the event at the expansive Raj Bhavan. We are keen to hear your words of wisdom. Given your personal experience as a former councillor in the Municipal Corporation of Raipur, I understand this topic holds great significance for you. You have first-hand knowledge of the impact of town planning on the everyday lives of the people and the importance of creating an environment that promotes ease of living. We are thankful to our guest of honor, Shri Vivek Phansalkar, IPS Commissioner of Police, for readily accepting our invitation and always having the chamber close to him. So, salute to you for the way you motivate your team, the attention for your detail, your punctuality, and the way that you have managed to keep the law and order situation in control, and even your, let's say, your strong belief on how to combat cyber terrorism and cyber crimes, that has really helped a lot of people. So thank you so much for being the support for AMCI Mumbai. We have, post this session, a number of speakers. We have the Commissioner from Indore, Municipal Commissioner Ms. Harshika Singh, who will talk about how she's done about clean cities. We have a session on smart cities. We have topics on traffic management, how it impacts all of us, and mobility, besides how financial inclusion can take advantage, how people can take advantage of that. So we look forward to the address of our chief guest and our guest of honor. The IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry represents a significant section of business, trade, and industry. Improving the quality of life and ease of living for millions of citizens is no small task, and it requires multiple partnerships between government, between business, and civil society. We believe there has to be a continuous dialogue between all the stakeholders. The theme of the conference, Ease of Living, Basic Right of Citizens, Making Cities and Towns of India Better Places to Live, harmonizes with the overarching theme of Partnership for Growth, chosen by me for this year. With increasing urbanization, the city life is known to create stress, and therefore it is imperative that urban planning considers the source of stress in urban life and works towards mitigating them. The Ease of Living Index and the Municipal Performance Index, both introduced under the honorable leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, represent progressive steps towards creating an evidence-based approach to urban development and governance. These initiatives aim to ensure cities are not just efficient, but are also inclusive and sustainable. The EOLI evaluates cities on 4 parameters: quality of life, economic ability, sustainability, and citizens' perceptions. It emphasized the importance of improving urban environments for the well-being of citizens, helping to foster a sense of community, safety, and inclusivity. On the other hand, the MPI assesses the performance of municipalities based on 5 verticals: services, finance, planning, technology, and governance. This index encourages municipalities to move towards excellence by promoting competitiveness and enhancing the capability of administrative authorities. Indeed, the launch of these 2 indexes have already spurred a wave of improvement across various cities in India. It has motivated city authorities to focus not only on improving infrastructure, but also, on the other hand, critical aspects that directly affect citizens' quality of life, such as education, health, safety, and public services. Climate change and the way we've seen the city changed during the COVID times. You all would have witnessed how clean the city became, how the quality of life was probably difficult for many of us, but in many ways much easier when we were there. So we need to find the right balance between urbanization, business, and quality of life. We're doing a lot of work on ease of doing business, so this ease of living is also very essential. The Right to Services app, which digitally delivers over 400 services, is another praiseworthy initiative. It's a significant step forward in harnessing the power of technology to ensure that governance is streamlined, transparent, and citizen-friendly. This initiative has helped to reduce paperwork and bureaucratic hurdles, has not only expedited service delivery, but also brought government services to the doorsteps of the citizens. As we gather today for the third Ease of Living conference, it's a moment to recognize the strides we have taken in improving urban life in India, but also to remind ourselves of the continuous effort and innovation that lies ahead. The conference presents a unique opportunity for all stakeholders, policymakers, administrators, urban planners, and citizens to come together to exchange ideas, share best practices, and shape the future of our cities. The journey towards ease of living is a collective responsibility, and this conference plays a vital role in galvanizing our efforts towards that goal. I wish to express our deep sense of gratitude to our eminent speakers and who will be gracing the occasion and for sharing their valuable expertise. Before I conclude, let me provide you with a very brief overview of the Chamber. The IMC Chamber started in 1907 by the Indian merchants who came together to establish a Swadeshi movement to fight for the rights for the Swadeshi business. Shri Mahatma Gandhi, sir, had accepted the honorary membership way back in 1931, the only chamber which has this distinction. With a membership base of about 5,000 members and 150 trade associations, we have a reach of about 400,000 members across business and industry establishments. With this, I am very thrilled that we have this Ease of Living conference with the speakers bringing exceptional domain expertise. I'm confident that their sessions will provide enlightening take-home messages for all of us. I once again welcome each and every one of you to this captivating conference. Have a great day filled with enriching experiences, bounding learnings, and knowledge. Thank you so much.
अन्य अहम विषयों पर आपने उपयुक्त तथा संक्षिप्त रूप में जानकारी दी, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। और अब फूल तथा सम्मान चिन्ह देकर महाराष्ट्र के राज्यपाल माननीय श्री रमेश बैस जी का स्वागत करेंगे आईएमसी चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री के अध्यक्ष श्री अनंत सिंघानिया जी। आदर का प्रतीक इसका स्वीकार करें। और अब फूल तथा सम्मान चिन्ह देकर मुंबई पुलिस आयुक्त श्री विवेक फणसळकर जी का स्वागत करेंगे आईएमसी चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री के अध्यक्ष श्री अनंत सिंघानिया जी। धन्यवाद। और अब मैं श्री एम के चौहान अध्यक्ष आईएमसी ईज ऑफ लिविंग कॉन्फ्रेंस से विनती करती हूं कि वे सम्मेलन का अवलोकन करें।
Namaskar, good afternoon. Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Ramesh Bayas ji, Shri Vivek Fensalkar, Commissioner of Police, Anand Singhania, President of Indian Merchants Chamber and my good friend, Mr. Samir Sumaya, President-elect of IMC and my good friend, a very, very warm welcome from me personally to all of you. At the outset, Honorable Governor Sir, let me express my grateful thanks for letting us host the Ease of Living conference at this venue at the Grand Raj Bhavan. And by the way, sir, this is the third Ease of Living conference, but this is the first in-person Ease of Living conference, so we are extremely delighted to start it off from such a grand venue. This indicates, sir, that you attach a significant importance to ease of living, and therefore you have allowed us to do this conference here. Thank you again for that. Let me quickly give you the ease of living initiatives at IMC. See, it all started in 2017 when our Prime Minister said that after ease of doing business, we have to give focus to ease of living. I believe he held a meeting with the 40 secretaries in Delhi and briefed them, all of them, that we have to start working on the ease of living so that the common person living, in different cities and town gets this ease of living. So that, I believe, gave a grand push, because when the top authority and the top management and the top political leaders lend their weight to this, the whole thing takes care of. So under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in 2017, these two indexes, actually first one was launched, which Anand talked about, is called EOLI, which is Ease of Living Index. All of you must be wondering, all of us know what is ease of living, but we are wondering what is ease of living, as a formal coined word, and why so much of talk about it. But unless in management they have a dictum, they say whatever gets measured gets done. So unless you have a mechanism or a framework with which you can manage and see how things are being done, how the civic services are being delivered to the common man, things do not get done. Over a period of time, that matured, and then the second index was launched. It's called Municipal Performance Index. And with these two indexes now, 114 cities of India are being ranked on ease of living. So that's under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, sir. And this framework has got three main pillars. One is quality of life, the second one is economic ability, and the third one is sustainability. And when we talk of quality of life, it includes education, health, housing, shelter, mobility, safety and security, which Shri Phansalkar ji is going to talk to us about. All these things are included in the quality of life. The economic ability, the second one, it includes level of development, economic opportunities, and which also includes financial inclusion, and we have a special session on financial inclusion. Sustainability, which is the third pillar, includes environment, green spaces and green buildings, energy consumption, and cities resilience. So there are four objectives for this entire ease of living. One is assess and compare the outcomes achieved from various urban policies and schemes. Obtain the perception of citizens about their view of services provided by the city administration. Generate information to guide evidence-based policy making. Catalyze action and achieve broader development outcomes, including the Sustainable Development Goals. All of you must be knowing there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals under United Nations. 197 countries of the world have signed. India is one of the signatories for those Sustainable Development Goals. So this assessment framework has got these two, EOLI and MPLI, as I talked to you. And there are different weightages given to these, sir. So the quality of life has got 35% of weightage. Economic ability has got 15% weightage. Sustainability has got 20% weightage, which personally I believe should be increased over a period of time, because Mother Earth, we are consuming more than the capability of Mother Earth to replenish. And by the way, at the cost of little digression, I must say that every year an international body comes up with a Earth Overshoot Day. The natural resources that we are supposed to consume in 365 days by 31st December, we are now over-consuming it, and that Earth Overshoot Day is coming in the September month, which means October, November, December, we are creating the natural debt, DEBT, on all of us. We are overdrawing from the natural earth. So this Mother Earth we have inherited from our children, and we have to give it back to them in a better shape than what we have inherited, what we got from our parents. So, sir, first of all, governance is the most important thing, and therefore I'm so delighted we are holding it here, and none other than Governor of Maharashtra is going to talk about that. What is the role of governance in delivering the ease of living? The second one is the quality of life, in which I said, which includes the mobility and safety and security. So we are going to hear from the police commissioner himself on security and safety. I was just telling him that a fortnight ago, my daughter's friend came from United States. Her flight got delayed, and there was some communication gap between us and her, and we couldn't reach and locate her on the airport. 3 o'clock night, this girl finds her own taxi and comes home safely. There's the safety and security when women feel safe in the city of Mumbai. Thank you, sir, for that. Third is the mobility, and we have got two experts who will be talking to us on this. Shri Praveen Kumar Padwal, the Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic, and Shri Lokesh Chandra, who is the General Manager, Brihan Mumbai Electric Supply Transport, we call BEST. Then we have kept a special address, and this is again closer to my heart, and this address is by Ma'am Harshika Singh, the Municipal Commissioner of Indore, MP, because Indore has a unique distinction of successively being adjudged the cleanest city of India for 6 years. Congratulations to you, and please do convey it to citizens of Indore, because nothing happens without the involvement of civil society. And of course, it's a trinity of leadership of civil society, political leaders, and corporate leaders together, which delivers this ease of living. But civil society plays a great, great role. So she's going to discuss with her, or share the recipe, rather, I can say, of how did they become the cleanest city? How did this aspiration of becoming cleanest city come into their mind? How did they implement this strategy, and how do they wish to continue? Because sustenance after having achieved something is extremely important, and they are very, very ambitious. They say 7th year also they are aspiring to become the cleanest city. Amen. So then we have a special session, sir, on smart cities, how smart cities operate, and we have two specialists. And luckily for us, both of them are our committee members and experts. We have Amrita Chaudhary, she's the director of Gaia Smart Cities, and Mr. Dilip Shekdar, who is advisor planning Mumbai Port Authority, and former expert advisor Naya Raipur Development Authority. I believe a place, where you come from, so that's another chord. By the way, I also come from Indore, so Madhya Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and it's in my heart. So I'm feeling special today, sir. Thank you. So finally, I must mention that one of the 3 pillars that I talked about, ease of living, is the economic ability, which includes financial inclusion. And therefore, we have Shailesh Pandey, who is the Chief Sales Officer of Fino Payment Bank, who will speak to us on financial inclusion and its impact on ease of living. Again, with a disclosure that I happen to be the founding chairman of Fino Payment Bank. And thank you, Shailesh, for supporting this event. And we would like to learn more as to how financial inclusion, because this is one of the major agenda of Government of India, widening and deepening the financial inclusion. Unless people at the pyramid, bottom of the pyramid, become financially included in the formal economy, we will not have ease of living. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a power-packed lineup of speakers who will unleash the content which touches the life of each one of us, that is ease of living. So please listen, absorb, respond, ask questions, and co-create this feedback paper that under Indian Merchants Chamber we would like to send to all these authorities. And therefore that makes it to our theme, that is making cities and towns better place to live. Having said that, I must tell you, generally we citizens expect everything from the authorities, but I have a submission to all of you.
100 accused were arrested in a span of 10 days. You try to even stop one neighbor of yours and you will know what it takes to arrest 1700 people in a span of 8 days. So security and safety, we consider it as an extremely integral part of the society and of your living. Your neighborhoods, we need to keep them safe. Your life, we need to keep them safe. The rule of law has to be there in all walks of life, whether it is school, whether it is college, whether it is going to your workplace, whether it is employment, whether it is traveling from locals or in taxis to your workplace, home, friends, etc. We are always there. In the social sphere, you are aware the kind of celebrations सर हम जिस तरह से हमारे उत्सव मनाते हैं, हजारों लाखों की तादाद में लोग रास्ते पर उतर आते हैं, whether it is the Ganesh Utsav or the Durga Utsav or even the Ramzan Eid which concluded recently or the Bakri Eid that is coming. We are preparing for it constantly. And believe me, we have people who have homes and families, but they never get to celebrate any of these functions because they are constantly at work, more on holidays and more on festivals. So that is in the realm of the society. We also saw what is in the realm of the polity. In economy, nowadays we have to look into office spaces, plans. So there are complaints of sexual harassment at workplaces in the private sector also, in the government sector also. So that particular vertical of the industry or the office is not able to handle their own homes and problems, and then we have to step in. We do it ungrudgingly, but I just want you to be aware of all this. We have a huge economic offences wing because, sir, economic offences and cyber offences are now one of the greatest offences that are happening. Cybersphere, of course, we have spoken at length last time, sir, and we have created a lot of awareness in that sector. But even in the sphere of economy, there's a lot of cheating happening, and very big people and good people, I don't have to name, you know, who has fled away and what has happened to many a great industries and businesses and companies, and how banks have also fallen apart because of them. And then we have to step in. Now, please understand that we, after this happens, can step in, investigate, prosecute, and put the offender in jail or behind the bars. But till this process happens, because we are a rule of law, country of law, he has done incalculable damage to a large segment of society. And that is where what Mr. Chauhan said, I hope he is listening to me, that he was looking at his mobile, sorry. So that the society has a great role, a very, very important role in establishing the ease of living and ease of doing business, both. Malpractices also happen because society is participating in it. So society has a great role, and I really compliment the Indian Merchants Chamber for taking this initiative to hold such conferences. My only prayer is that we should not stop at these conferences. We will have to reach out to the community, the police, as it is, do a lot of community outreach programs, interactions with segments of the society. I, for one, on behalf of the Mumbai Police and the state government of Maharashtra, assure the August gathering over here and the Honorable Governor over here that we will take this subject to the last section of the society and do our bit, whatever it is, in contributing to the safety of women, to the safety of children. So we also have programs for senior citizens. We have beat marshals. If senior citizens register themselves with the police station saying that they feel a little unsafe or they are singly living, then we have a system where sir, a constable goes, वो उनके घर जाते हैं, चेक करते हैं, सब ठीक है, कोई परेशानी नहीं है आपको, इत्यादि सब हम देखते रहते हैं. तो ये सब हम तो करते ही रहेंगे, ये आश्वासन मैं आपको भरसक रूप से देना चाहता हूँ. मगर मैं ये भी आप सभी से आश्वासन चाहता हूँ कि आप में से यहाँ जितने भी लोग हैं, तो ये ईज़ ऑफ लिविंग, ये एक कॉन्फ्रेंस न रहे, ये एक वेव बने, और ये जहाँ तक आप ले जा सकते हैं ले जाए, चाहे फिर वो आपके घर पे कोई काम करने वाला या कोई काम करने वाली हो, कोई ड्राइवर हो, कोई और कुछ काम करने वाला हो, उनकी कुछ छोटी छोटी समस्या हो, तो आप ज़रूर हमारे पास लेके आइए. हमें वैसे भी आदत हो गई है कि हमारे डिपार्टमेंट का मैटर हो या न हो, हम कंप्लेंट्स लेते हैं, उसको स्वीकार करते हैं, और जो भी हम प्रयास कर सकते हैं करते रहेंगे, ये आश्वासन मैं देना चाहता हूँ। जाते जाते मुझे मालूम है कि सभी के दिमाग में सर मुंबई के ट्रैफिक के बारे में मैं कुछ बोलूँ, ये मगर मैं 4 साल इस शहर का जॉइंट सीपी रहा सर, 2010 से 2014 तक। एंड लेट मी टेल यू दैट द चैलेंजेस आर अगेन immense. You know, the population is growing, the space is shrinking, the road space is shrinking, parking spaces are shrinking, and at the same time, the number of vehicles are increasing at the rate of around 500 per day. My Joint Commissioner of Traffic will be addressing you, and he will be going in more detail, so I don't want to rob his subject and dwell more upon this. But the problem is extremely severe. And then, sir, हमें लोग एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि अवेयरनेस कैंपेन करें। सर, हर एक आदमी जो लाइसेंसी है उसको पता है कि लाल सिग्नल जब होता है तो रुकना है और ग्रीन होता है तो चलना है, मगर जब तक वहाँ पे ट्रैफिक का पुलिसमैन नहीं है, ये होता नहीं है मुंबई शहर में। और उसको अगर हम हटा दें तो चारों तरफ से लोग एक दूसरे के रास्ते में घुस जाते हैं। तो ये चीज़ें जो हैं ये तो करने जैसी है। सिटीजन्स कैन एटलीस्ट ओबे the red signal and the green signal. I am not expecting the sky from you. Just do whatever is very, very little for the other citizen, for the city. और मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि ease of living जो है वो थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाएगा, थोड़ा सा बढ़ जाएगा, and then we will have another conference over here, maybe 2 years or 5 years down the line, which will be a happy living conference. जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
आपके बहुमूल्य विचारों के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और अब महाराष्ट्र के राज्यपाल माननीय श्री रमेश बैस जी से मैं आग्रह करती हूँ, रोल ऑफ गवर्नेंस इन इम्प्रूविंग ईज ऑफ लिविंग इस विषय पर सभा का मार्गदर्शन करें।
आईएमसी द्वारा आयोजित ईज ऑफ लिविंग इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित श्री विवेक फंसालकर, मुंबई कमिश्नर आईपीएस, श्री अनंत सिंघानिया, अध्यक्ष इंडियन मर्चेंट चैम्बर्स, श्री समीर सोमैया, अध्यक्ष प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट इंडियन मर्चेंट चैम्बर, श्री M.K. चौहान, अध्यक्ष आईएमसी ईज ऑफ लिविंग कमेटी, विशिष्ट अतिथि देवियों और सज्जनों, सबसे पहले मैं राजभवन में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। मैं इस परिषद का आयोजन करने और जीवन की आसानी में सुधार में शासन की भूमिका के मुद्दे को प्रमुखता से केंद्र में लाने के लिए इंडियन मर्चेंट चैम्बर की सराहना करता हूं। आप जानते ही होंगे कि भूटान ने अपने ग्रास नेशनल हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स के कारण वैश्विक पटल पर सुर्खियां बटोरी थी। ग्रास नेशनल हैप्पीनेस इंडेक्स को औपचारिक रूप से भूटान के 2008 के संविधान में एक विकास संकेतक के रूप में अपनाया गया था। यद्यपि हमने सूचकांक को औपचारिक रूप से नहीं अपनाया, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में भारत प्रत्येक नागरिक की खुशी को बढ़ाने का प्रयास कर रहा है। जन धन योजना के तहत देश में पहली बार 47 करोड़ बैंक खाते खोले गए। हर घर बिजली और पानी तथा हर गांव में सड़क भी सुनिश्चित की जा रही है। प्रदेश सरकार और केंद्र सरकार दोनों ही नागरिकों को उनके मूल अधिकारों का आनंद मिले, इस उद्देश्य से ईज ऑफ लिविंग में सुधार करने के लिए निरंतर प्रयास कर रहे हैं। केवल 2 दिन पहले ही संयुक्त अरब अमीरात के काउंसलर जनरल ने मुझसे मुलाकात की। उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि वह आधी रात को भी कभी टहलने निकलते हैं तब मुंबई में सबसे सुरक्षित महसूस करते हैं। ईज ऑफ लिविंग एक ऐसी चीज है जो हर नागरिक के जीवन को छूती है, चाहे वह अमीर हो या गरीब, सक्षम शरीर वाला हो या दिव्यांग, शहरी हो या ग्रामीण। ईज ऑफ लिविंग के लिए जन भागीदारी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात होती है। अगर आप मुंबई के विकास पर नजर डालें तो आपको पता चलेगा कि इस महान शहर के लोगों ने हमेशा सार्वजनिक जनहित के कार्यों का हर समय समर्थन करके अपनी भूमिका निभाई है। सर जमशेद जी, जीजी भाई जी दानवीरता से हमारा सर जे अस्पताल खड़ा है। पुणे में डेविड ससून अस्पताल तथा मुंबई में डेविड ससून लाइब्रेरी यहाँ के ससून परिवार के परोपकार के कारण खड़े हैं। महिम काजवे लेडी जमशेद के उदार दान के कारण खड़ा है। चंदनबाड़ी स्मशान भूमि आधुनिक मुंबई के शिल्पी जगन्नाथ नाना शंकर सेठ की दान वीरता की मिसाल है। इसी तरह जे स्कूल ऑफ आर्ट्स, गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया और कई अन्य संस्थान भी इस साझेदारी के कारण खड़े हैं और हजारों लोगों को सेवा दे रहे हैं। इसलिए हमें सुशासन में नागरिकों की भागीदारी की जरूरत है। मुंबई में कॉरपोरेट संख्या सबसे अधिक है। क्या वे मुंबई में सार्वजनिक स्थानों पर महिलाओं के लिए अधिक शौचालय नहीं बना सकते? हमारे पास अनेक कॉरपोरेट अस्पताल हैं। क्या वे सप्ताह में एक दिन जनता जनार्दन के लिए निःशुल्क ओपीडी नहीं चला सकते? राज्यपाल होने के नाते मैं यहाँ से हर समय समुद्र देखता हूँ। इतने सालों में हम इस शहर में जल परिवहन का विकास नहीं कर पाए। मुंबई के सड़कों पर दिन भर ट्रैफिक जाम होता है। अभी ट्रैफिक के बारे में काफ़ी बताया भी, और मैं कहूँगा कि खाली मुंबई में ट्रैफिक ही नहीं, सबसे पहले यहाँ सड़कों की सुधारने की आवश्यकता है। हम दूसरे शहर में जाते हैं, छोटे शहर में सड़कें सपाट मिलती है, प्लेन मिलती है, लेकिन इतना बड़ा हमारा मुंबई शहर जहां पैसों की कोई कमी नहीं, उसके बाद भी सड़क अभी तक ठीक नहीं हो पा रही है। मुंबई में सड़कों पर दिन भर ट्रैफिक जाम होता है, लोकल ट्रेनें पूरी भीड़ से भरी होती है। दूसरी ओर हमारा महासागर खाली है। यहां आज तक हम कोई फेरी बोट शुरू नहीं कर पाए। यह सोचने वाली बात है। जल परिवहन के उपयोग से बसों और लोकल ट्रेनों पर बोझ कम होगा। इस साल भारत की G20 बैठकों की मेजबानी कर रहा है। समय आ गया है कि हम शहर में साफ सफाई में सुधार करें। अभी स्मार्ट सिटी के बारे में चौहान जी चर्चा कर रहे थे और उसमें रायपुर का जिक्र आया। मोदी जी का स्मार्ट सिटी का जो कल्पना है वो बाद में आया। हमने रायपुर में नया एक शहर बसाकर नया रायपुर के नाम से स्मार्ट सिटी का निर्माण पहले ही करवा चुके हैं। और स्मार्ट सिटी का मतलब ये नहीं है कि सड़क के दोनों किनारे को हम दीवालों को रंग दें, चित्र बना दें। ये इतना ही स्मार्ट सिटी नहीं है। ये तो ऐसा है, कोई बुढ़ी अगर पाउडर पोत कर जवान दिखे तो स्मार्ट सिटी का कोई नाम होना चाहिए। जैसा हमने रायपुर में जो सिस्टम बनाया है, मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि जितने भी वहां पर बंगलोज हैं और मल्टी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग है, सारे की इलेक्ट्रिक लाइन, पीने की पानी की पाइपलाइन, सीवरेज, ये सारे एक टनल के माध्यम से जाता है। और एक कंट्रोल ऑफिस है कि वहां एक आदमी बैठकर, टोटल कंप्यूटराइज्ड है, एक आदमी बैठकर पूरे बिल्डिंग को, पूरे नया रायपुर को कंट्रोल करता है। अगर किसी के फ्लैट में बाथरूम चौक हो गया हो तो उस आदमी को मालूम हो जाता है कि फलाने ब्लॉक में इतने नंबर फ्लैट का वॉशरूम खराब हो गया है। प्लम्बर जाएगा, वहां पर जाकर वो ठीक करके आ जाएगा, किसी को पूछने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती। चाहे नगर निगम हो, नगर पालिका हो। अगर कोई नल कनेक्शन के लिए आवेदन करता है तो उसके घर में पाइपलाइन देने के लिए 10 जगह खोदना पड़ता है कि पाइपलाइन कहाँ गई है, और 10 जगह खोदने के बाद जब एक जगह मिल जाता है तो पाइप का कनेक्शन कर देता है, लेकिन गड्ढे नहीं बढ़ते। अगर ये छोटी छोटी समस्याओं को हम ध्यान में रखें, और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हमें अपने देश के प्रति अपनत्व की भावना जगानी चाहिए। जिस दिन हमारे अंदर राष्ट्रीयता की भावना रहेगी, मैं मुंबई में रहता हूं, ये मुंबई मेरा शहर है, मैं ये नहीं बोलता कि हमारा शहर है, मैं बोलता हूं मेरा शहर है। और जिस दिन मुंबई मेरा शहर है, हर जनता के मन में ये भावना अगर जागृत हो जाएगी, तो ये लगातार अभियान चलाया जाता है कि प्लास्टिक से सफाई करो, सड़क सफाई करो, जुहू बीच सफाई करो। ये अभियान चलाने की आवश्यकता नहीं होगी। आप सिक्किम जाइए, अगर सिक्किम से बाहर के लोग अगर सिक्किम गए हों और उनको ये गलतियां नहीं मालूम, अगर वो चॉकलेट खाकर रेपर कहीं वो सड़क में फेंक दे, तो सिक्किम का आदमी आपको नहीं पूछेगा कि आपने ये रेपर क्यों फेंका। वो सिक्किम का आदमी उस रेपर को उठाकर डस्टबिन में डाल देगा। हम सब विदेश जाते हैं, लेकिन विदेश के सारे नियम को हम फॉलो करते हैं। कुत्ता को सुबेरे घुमाना होगा तो उसको संकल में बांधकर बाहर ले जाएंगे। सिगरेट पीने वाले सिगरेट को सड़क में नहीं फेंकेंगे, चॉकलेट खाने वाले रेपर को सड़क में नहीं फेंकेंगे। एयरपोर्ट में जाएंगे, लाइन लगाकर खड़े रहेंगे, एक एक ट्रॉली का इंतजार करेंगे। लेकिन वही आदमी हमारा फिर से वापस अपने देश में आता है तो ये सारी बातें क्यों भूल जाता है। अगर इस हम छोटी छोटी बातों को हम अपने परिवार को समझाएं, अपने दोस्तों को समझाएं, अपने रिश्तेदारों को समझाएं, तो हर कोई की बात समझ में आएगी। और जिस दिन हमारे देश में सबको ये समझे कि ये भारत देश मेरा है, हमारा भारत नंबर 1 हो जाएगा। धन्यवाद।
आपने अपनी ओजस्वी वाणी से अपने विचारों की सौगात हमें दी। हम दिल की गहराइयों से आपके प्रति धन्यवाद प्रकट करते हैं। देवी और सज्जनों, तालियों की गूंज के साथ हम इस पल को सजाएंगे और इसी के साथ इस उद्घाटन सत्र का समापन होता है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं सभी से निवेदन करती हूँ, महाराष्ट्र के राज्यपाल माननीय श्री रमेश बैस जी के निर्गमन तक कृपया अपने स्थान पर रहें। Been delayed, and this is not a good news. So it's 40 minutes. The delay is 40 minutes as of now. So we need to cover a lot of ground. If I can solicit your cooperation, kindly take your seats, and I hope your cell phones are on the silent, and we all know the reason why. So welcome back post break, and let us begin this special session by inviting our speakers, Madam Harshika Singh, Municipal Commissioner, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, Madam Amrita Chaudhary, Director, Gaya Smart Cities, Mr. Dilip Shekdar, Advisor Planning, Mumbai Port Authority, and former Expert Advisor, Naya Raipur Development Authority, Mr. Shailesh Pandey, Chief Sales Officer, Fino Payments Bank, and Mr. Mahendra Chauhan, Chairman, Mahindra and Young Knowledge Foundation. Please. Anji. Madam Harshika Singh, Municipal Commissioner, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, Madam Amrita Chaudhary, Director, Gaia Smart Cities, Mr. Dilip Shekdar, Advisor, Planning, Mumbai Port Authority, and former expert advisor, Naya Raipur Development Authority, and Mr. Shailesh Pandey, Chief Sales Officer, Fino Payments Bank. All the expert speakers are here and joined by Shri M.K. Chauhan, Chairman, Mahindra and Young Knowledge Foundation. He is also the president of the IMC Ease of Living Conference. So without much ado, let me begin by inviting Madam Harshika Singh, Municipal Commissioner, Indore, Madhya Pradesh, for her presentation on transformational journey of Indore in becoming cleanest city of India for successive 6 years. This deserves a huge round of applause. And the stage is all yours, ma'am.
A very good evening to all of you. I would first like to thank IMC for giving an opportunity to me to come and be a part of this Ease of Living series of discussions. We all have been always hearing about the cleanest city of India. We have been hearing that this is one city which is very different from all other cities of the country, and it's known for its cleanliness. For 6 times in a row, we have been able to achieve this mantle of being the cleanest city of the country. But then there is a history, there is a story, there is a long journey that happened for the last 8 years, almost 8 years. This journey was filled with a lot of issues, with a lot of, I would say, stakeholder agreements that happened on the way. Lot of things happened, and today I'm standing in front of you and would like to present how did we achieve what we achieved. And as we talk, we are in the midst of the 7th Swachhata Sarvekshan, and we hope that for the 7th time, Indore would achieve its mantle all over again. Thank you. So, to start with, in the morning, when Honorable Governor, sir, Honorable Commissioner of Police, sir, they were addressing us, they mentioned and they went on focusing and basically talking about one point, and that was public participation, civil society, organizations, impact and role in terms of governance. And Indore's model is all about Jan Bhagidari. In Madhya Pradesh, our governance pattern is mostly aligned with the pattern of Jan Bhagidari, wherein we as executive part of the government don't just go along independently. We take everyone along, especially the citizens for whom we are working, the political entity, the citizen participation, and the executive. The 3 work as a multiplier force, and that's how we work. However, in the case of Indore, this multiplier effect was much more, and I would like to share this story with all of you. So this Indore Swachhata Jan Bhagidari effort, it has now reached a level where when we talk about or think about Indore, we think about it as a disposal-free city. We think about it as a zero waste event city. We think about it as a plastic waste free city. These are some of the anecdotes which are often associated when we talk about this city. Just to give you a brief idea of what my city is all about, a basic city profile of Indore is, the population of Indore is almost about 30 lakhs, with about 2 to 3 lakhs of floating population per day, which is a big chunk which is there with us each day. We have the entire municipal area which has been divided into 19 broad zones. We have 85 wards. These are administrative wards. For our administrative efficiency, we divide the entire area into wards and further into small zones for ensuring administrative feasibility of work. We have about 5,89,000 households and about 72,000 commercial and industrial establishments with us. The red part that you are seeing is actually Indore. It's located almost on the southwestern part of the state, and it's almost an urban district. If I talk about, let's come back, because I'm standing here to talk all about cleanliness, to talk all about garbage, to talk about how do we go about with managing garbage and waste. So the starting point is that in Indore, the total waste that we are generating per day is about 1176 tons per day, which is TPD, is actually tons per day. So on a daily basis, we are almost generating a waste of 1176 TPD, which includes all sort of waste. We broadly classify, in fact, we are the only city in the entire country. In fact, when we compare it to international levels also, we are one of the few cities where we talk about 6 types of waste segregation. And when I say that we are producing 1176 TPD, it means it incorporates wet waste, the dry waste that we produce. It includes the domestic hazardous waste. It includes the sanitary waste. It includes the e-waste or the electronic waste. So putting them all together, this is the amount of waste that we are producing. This data is important for us because managing this figure, managing this 1176 TPD per day it's a starting point from where we started the journey, how to manage it, how to efficiently utilize it. And I'll also share that how now we are even making out revenue out of this model of garbage. We are literally earning out of the garbage that the city produces. Let's travel back some time back in history. This is circa 2015, September 2015 figure, some of the photos for your snapshot. This is how Indore was in 2015. As you can see, the entire streets were all garbage laden. You could find all these garbage vulnerable points. Almost 2,000 plus garbage vulnerable points were there in Indore. Across the city, we could find all kind of, litter spreading and all kind of garbage being spread across. At that point in time, we were facing major challenges. We were sitting on about 100 years of legacy waste. This waste, this garbage waste, preceded the independence time, and we were sitting on that. We didn't have any kind of waste management policy or system in place. There was a lot of systemic issues in terms of waste management. In short, we were in complete garbage chaos in 2015. There was a triggering point for my city. In 2015, March 2015 to be precise, the National Pollution Control Board issued a notice to Indore Municipal Corporation telling them that it's high time that you do something about the waste that you are producing. You are sitting on garbage, you are sitting on 100 years of legacy waste, and you are not doing anything about it. Carrying forward, a lot of PILs were filed in the High Court. We have a High Court bench in Indore, and a lot of PILs were filed. And the High Court came up with a directive telling and literally directing the Indore Municipal Corporation that it's high time that you start working on the Swachhata front. Taking cue, the nudging factor was these kind of directives that were issued to the Indore Municipal Corporation, but what happened after that is actually a history. So if I look back, from 2015 to 2023, I can broadly divide these time frames into three basic time frames. The first is between May 2015 and May 2016, when we were working a lot in terms of our internal housekeeping. We were first trying to see that systemic changes in the institution of Indore Municipal Corporation was happening. All kind of internal purchase works, internal administrative work, entire HR modeling, everything was happening in this time frame. Going ahead, once the entire house was in place, the internal house was in place, we then pushed towards public participation, which was the period of 2016 to roughly 2020-21. In fact, it's a continuing process, but that happened once our house was in place. And as we stand, we are right now working on a lot of these financial modeling thing with respect to garbage management. In fact, we are the pioneers in South Asia. As a municipal corporation, we are the first municipal corporation to issue a green bond, the first in South Asia, in fact. And we are now, as we talk, we are also working on how to go about with more financial models to earn income out of the garbage processing that we are doing in our city. So this was basically the time in 2015 when we had several questions in mind. We had to do the review as it is. What is the infrastructure? What is the kind of administrative structure that we have? What is the kind of challenges that we have in front of us? Because there was no concept of door-to-door collection of waste. So there were litter spread all across the city. There was no segregation of waste. So we were getting mixed garbage, and that in itself was a major challenge. So this was the time when we were thinking, we were basically trying to understand what is wrong in our house. Moving ahead, the first thing that the then administration and the team planned was that first we'll have to make a city litter-free. We'll have to make it dustbin-free. That means that no one would have the right to go and spread litter, to spread things here and there. And if we have to go about with this thing, what we have to do next? We'll have to ensure that every household in the city is being connected with a door-to-door wastage collection mechanism so that you can, give your waste to that vehicle. All your establishments are mapped with a vehicle and or a point where you are literally given a point that you have to dispose of your waste only with this vehicle or only at this point. So this entire door-to-door collection mechanism was a mammoth exercise. In the case of Indore, in 2015, I am told, when this idea was first floated in the house of the Indore Municipal Corporation, people didn't accept it at all. They were of the opinion that it's a very mammoth job, and how are you going to manage it? How are you going to monitor it? There were just two Parshads, two corporators who agreed to it initially, and this entire effort first started with their wards. These two wards were taken up as pilot because they were on board. Their support was in board. So this entire process started. What we actually did was, and what we even right now do is, that in every ward of the municipal corporation area, every household that is there, we map it. We have made a complete beat system where we map the movement of our vehicles, where point A to point B in X ward is mapped with a particular vehicle. This vehicle mapping with each area was done. And intensive, I'll talk about one thing that was introduced then was an effective involvement of NGOs. Our Swachhta campaign has a very active element of NGO and a very active element of civil society participation. So NGOs were also taken on board so that they would serve as a link between the corporation and the general public, and a very intensive command and control structure was put in place to ensure that every household which is mapped with a garbage vehicle is being connected. Every household of that ward was then initially giving its disposal, giving its waste to this vehicle that was reaching their house at 6 a.m. in the morning. We initially started with these 2 wards. Slowly, when it became a success, people started seeing that how this entire thing was happening, and they gained some confidence. The other corporators also came on board, and their wards were also taken up, and slowly, within a very short span of just 1 year, the entire household, around 6 lakh plus households, were mapped intensively with a GIS-based mapping. Each household is mapped with a vehicle. That vehicle movement is tracked. I'll tell you how do we track it. It's a 24/7 job. Even as I'm sitting here, I'm able to monitor what is happening back in my city. And we monitor it intensively with the technological intervention. And this is how we started this entire process. Once this door-to-door garbage collection started, the next big challenge was that people were throwing their garbage in this garbage collection vehicle. But what was happening is that people were giving the mixed kachra. They were not segregating the waste, and therefore again it was of no use to us, because again it was ending up in the landfills. Again it was a kind of a piling of things that was happening. So it hit the team at that point in time that we'll have to work on segregation of kachra, segregation of garbage, and the entire success story of Indore's Cleanest Drive, the soul of this drive is that we are the only city in the country which goes in for 6 bin segregation. Every house in Indore segregates its waste and gives that waste in 6 different sections of the vehicle that comes to them in the morning. This started after we were done with the door-to-door collection process. As I said, NGOs have played a very important role in the entire Swachhata realm of Indore. What we do is that for every ward, we have an NGO. We broadly get an NGO engaged with us. We also have limitations of HR. As Commissioner of Police, sir, very rightly said in the morning that because I'm also part of the government and have been working with this for more than a decade now, have been posted as collectors in various districts, various resource head districts, Naxal affected districts and several such districts. We often work with lot of limited resources, and especially in terms of HR. So to meet that challenge, we try to introduce this NGO who was kind of a connecting link between corporation and a common person. So they were the one with whom our people were dealing with the collection of waste, the processing of waste, but the day-to-day interaction with the common person was done by these NGOs, and it is still being run by these NGOs. So we kind of actively took them on loop. They helped us with mapping the entire streets. They helped us in doing a GIS mapping of the households with the garbage collection vehicles. And even now, as I would say, how did we, because that's a common question which is often raised to me, that how did you make everyone join this entire Swachhata campaign? So these NGOs played a very important role in that joining process as well. As I said, the first challenge for Indore was to go in for a bin-free city. And to go for a bin-free city, there were a lot of resistance that then set of people faced. As you know, there are often some embedded interest, like we have a Swachhata Karmi embedded interest. They had their own Jagidari Pratha, wherein they dictated ki where I'll work, when I'll work, whether I'll work or whether I'll not work. So we had to strike a balance with them, and even today we are trying to strike that balance on a daily basis with them, because this is a very specific thing. I'm sure you would appreciate that collection of garbage and dealing with garbage is not something everyone is going to connect with. There is a set of people who have been doing it and who can do it much better than you and me, but we have to take them on fold. but there was a lot of resistance when we said that you will have to work 3 times a day. They were working, say, maybe 2 times a week, and now we are expecting them to work 3 times a day. There were a lot of other resistance that was happening at that point in time. So the then set of administration decided, they came up with 2 to 3 things basically. First, they said, you can make an, I'll be very blatant in this. There was a carrot and stick policy that was actually adopted in this case. Initially, there were a lot of deliberations that were happening with them that, see, this is very important, you have to be a part of it. When they resisted, when they did not cooperate, there were a lot of FIRs that were registered against them, a lot of strong actions taken against them. But at the same time, the administration also offered them certain things that let's make an association of yours, we'll give them recognition. That association will sit with municipal corporation and can give their grievances and share their experiences. So there was a lot of carrot and stick policy that was also put in place. Similarly, our people were deployed at the garbage vulnerable points. A kind of movement happened, and that is how we, and especially with the door-to-door collection coming in place, the city converted into a bin-free city. These are some of the pictures just to say how this transition happened from 2016 beginning to 2016 December. We have been effectively engaging with the Swachhta Karmis in the form of their rehabilitation. Like all our rag pickers that you see, we are the only city in the country where the rag pickers have been effectively brought to the mainstream. They are now our employees. And that has been one of the key changing principles that has been accepted. And even now we are continuously doing several welfare-oriented things for them. This is just to give you a brief idea that this entire sweeping that you see on the streets of Indore is on the beat system. Every day around 3,800 kilometers of the road sweeping happens, of which 85% is done manually and 15% is done with the help of the machines. We have a dedicated beat system with the help of which we undertake these sweeping things that you see on the screen. And in the night, we have dedicated points, especially commercial outlets, because in Indore, as we know that it's a very street food loving city, and the shops are open till 1, 2 in the night. After that also, there is a continuous cleaning process that goes on. We take care of our Safai Karamcharis in the form of ensuring them with safety and hygiene. Each of these Safai Karmis' attendance is regularly monitored by us. We have 15% of our roads are cleaned, the main roads are cleaned by the machines, and we have one of the state-of-the-art machines that you can think of in the Indian context in terms of cleanness. We have a very large and elaborate workshop where more than 1,700 plus vehicles that we have of municipal corporation is being taken care of. This is what actually made what Indore is. All of this effort, when it was in place, we felt that it's high time that we engage the common person, because it's a behavioral change that has to happen. A very intensive IC activity, and with the trinity of support of the political fraternity, of the corporators, of the social society and the administration, it was achieved. All the political entities across parties, across range was on board, and this helped to catalyze the entire structure. These are some of the Padyatra snapshots, some of the daily activities that were happening. This entire effort was going to every house. This entire message reached every house, and everyone got connected to this entire process. This is one thing that happened simultaneously, and this is one thing on which we are planning to be the first city in the country to be a completely polythene-free city. We are intensively taking up this campaign again with carrot and stick. We are doing a lot of spot finds, as also trying to come up with thela banks and other initiatives where we dissuade people to use plastic. These are some of our brand ambassadors who work and engage with us on a daily basis, people with whom Indoris connect themselves. This is something, when you go to Indore, you will see Swachhta all around you in the form of advertisements, in the form of your mobile. Almost, I think that's one of the few cities where 50 to 60% of the people have Swachhta song as their ringtone. So everyone connect to it like that. We obviously had to build toilets for the same. We have a very good and integrated structure of the public and community toilets, which are mostly free of cost, and we cross-subsidize it with other mechanisms, financial models that we have in Indore Municipal Corporation. This is something which I would like to delve for a minute. Indore is known for its waste disposal automation process. What we do is, once this 6 segregation of waste is collected from each ward, they then come to this garbage transition point, where in these pallets that you can see, the waste, the segregated waste is compressed, it is put and then taken to the respective processing plants that we have. We have the 10 ultra-modern mechanized transfer stations in the city. These are some of the snapshots of the 6 segregation that we have. How do general public have 6 baltis or 6 buckets, and how do they segregate the waste and bring it there? This is what I talked about. It's a soul of SWM. I just want to inform that we have a very integrated, the state of the art. In fact, it's also one of the biggest in the entire country. The integrated command and control structure, every vehicle, every door-to-door vehicle, everything happening on the Swachhta front is being monitored behind the scene through technology. All of us are connected 24/7, and we monitor even a 5 to 10 second deviation in the route of a door-to-door vehicle is like an alarm to me at the head office. And we monitor why this garbage collection thing didn't happen on time. To that minute level, we monitor it. This is the Asia's biggest bio-CNG plant. This was inaugurated by Honorable Pradhan Mantri last year in Indore. This is actually a wet waste management thing, a 550 TPD capacity plant, where all our wet waste is converted into bio-CNG, and these bio-CNGs are then used by our buses. We have a company, I'm the managing director of that company, and we run our buses on these bio-CNG. This is another decentralized wet wasting process that we carry on. We have these composters, 50,000 plus houses in our city are sustainable houses. This is a dry waste processing plant where this is again country's one of the biggest dry waste processing plant, 500 tons per day capacity, where all kinds of dry waste is segregated and they are recovered, and usable materials out of them are being prepared. We have exhaustive sanitary waste, domestic hazardous waste and electronic waste recycling process as well. We are right now working on extensive construction and demolition waste management. We have a 100 TPD plant with where we segregate, we collect these CND waste at each construction site, convert them into usable materials and use them in most of the government contracts that we undertake in IMC. These are some of the pictures. The picture on your left top is of 2015. This is the dump site that I was talking about. And the picture on your right side is that of 2020. It has been adequately bioremediated with 2 lakh plus plants now being planted there. This is again country's one of the biggest bioremediation plant that is there in Indore. We are, as I talk, working on reduce, reuse, recycle, the 3 principles of waste management. We, in every and most of the social functions, we are now moving towards Bartan Bank, where we have these bartans, or utensils being made available from the IMC site and dissuading people to not to use plastic and other disposable materials. Similar such efforts are being going on. Indore is known for its zero waste events. We often organize events where not even a single unit of waste is generated. Even yesterday we conducted the G20's U20 event was conducted by Indore Municipal Corporation, It was the only G20 event which was a zero waste event. So we keep on ensuring that our actions speak for themselves. We have zero waste wards where whatever waste the community generates, that is again rehabilitated by that society, that is reprocessed by that ward themselves. We have an effective online platform for grievance redressal, one of its kind. I'll straight away come, these are some of the pictures of what is now Indore. These are backlanes of Indore. Often, I'm sure in every multi-story you have this backlane which is often piled up with lot of garbage. In Indore, we have something like this. We have beautified all our backlanes with public participation, and every Sunday we organize some or the other event. We do ensure that user charges are imposed, and we are often one of the few municipal corporation where the charges that we levy and the amount of charges that we collect often helps us to cross-subsidize the expenditure we incur on the SPM front. Just to tell you that we are the only Water Plus district city in the entire country. Water Plus means all our nalas are tapped. No sewerage water is going to the nalas or the rivers. And for that, exhaustive efforts, STP, we have 10 effective STPs working, nala tapping work happening. And as you can see, all our nalas have been rehabilitated. We now organize all these events there, whether it's nala cricket, nala meeting. All these things happen on the nalas which once existed. We are using our wastewater. We treat them and use them for road washing. We use them for fountains. We use them for roadside plantation. We don't waste anything, even if it's a garbage water that's coming to us. We are as I said, we are the only municipal corporation which earned about 9 crores of carbon credits because of the cleanliness effort that it undertook. And we are the only municipal corporation in South Asia it was in fact the first municipal corporation in South Asia. In February 2023, we came up with the green bond, and that was a kind of a financial model. Basically, we are trying to earn out of the garbage. Going ahead as we talk, we are working towards reducing the per capita garbage collection from each house. We have given a target to reduce the number of baltis of garbage that come out from each household. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for giving us an opportunity to be a part of it. Thank you.
Indeed, an inspiration for other municipal corporations to follow. And here's wishing you the best for the forthcoming Swachhata Sarvekshans. Our next speaker, Madam Amrita Chaudhary, Director, Gaia Smart Cities. The topic is, how can smart cities impact ease of living? Ma'am.
First of all, a huge thanks to IMC. I'm part of the co-chair of the Ease of Living Committee. So thanks to our governor, who's not here, for hosting this event, and for all of the dignitaries who've come here today. Thank you so much. So with that, let me just talk a little bit about smart cities and how they can impact ease of living. So, okay. So I think Mr. Chauhan talked a little bit, and the governor also talked a little bit about what ease of living means. And if you see, there are a few pillars. We do have the institutional, which is the governance framework. We have the economic, which is about employment and employability. There are multiple social factors, the identity of the city, the culture, the recreation, all of those, health, safety, security. And then there are the city services, which are the physical aspects of the services that a city offers in terms of housing, affordable housing, in terms of the public open spaces, the green spaces. We heard Madam Harshika talk about sewage management, about solid waste management, STPs, and wastewater management, and all of that is a part of it. Transportation. pollution. These are all integral parts of how we define ease of living. And the vision of smart cities as it had emerged, at the start of, like in 2014, 2015, was to create this interconnected city where many of these services that are offered by municipalities could be offered in this connected way, in this digital enabled way, so that it actually worked efficiently, effectively, and helped citizens. So if we look at the core areas of smart cities, you'll see that there is a lot of overlap of the areas that emerged out of the cities for and ease of living. So again, we are talking about governance, health, identity, education. So there's a lot of overlap in the work that is happening through smart cities and how it can be monitored and measured via the ease of living index. Now, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about Agra as a case study. As a company, we've been working with multiple smart cities across India, and Agra always makes us feel proud. Now, Agra is something it's a city that all of us have been to. It evokes a certain a touristy image in our minds when we look at it. And if you look at it, it has history, it has tradition. It is also a modern city. It has about 100 wards and people engaged in different types of activities, including leatherworks, including a whole variety of industries related to artifacts, artisanal products, and so on. So Agra, when it started, created its own vision of being a city where they were preserving the history and tradition, but also being this future-facing city which was being able to absorb and take a lot of what the concepts of smart city were and look at each of the service areas that the city was delivering to its citizens and totally transform it. So there were a bunch of activities that were planned. Some were tourist-centric and some were obviously city-centric. And as the Smart City Mission asked cities to do, there was an area development plan where each city had to choose a specific area where a set of activities would be and a set of solutions would be showcased, as well as a set of activities which were done across the entire city. So Agra chose Tajganj, the area around Taj, for its area-based development, and the entire city for a lot of the technology-based things. So when we look at the area development plan of Tajganj, which is all of the heritage monuments that we are talking about, not just the Taj, but there's about 60-70 monuments of historical importance, minor and major, that exist in the city, and looking at the heritage and conservation of those, but a lot of other factors. So looking at social equity in that area around Taj, it's a very low income area of people. The inhabitants of that area are, other than the tourists and the hotels, are really low income households. So how do you really improve the living conditions over there? How do you bring in things like digital literacy, self-help groups, women help groups, skills development? All of those factors were thought of in this area, in addition to looking at the major structural changes of the beautification, looking at the nalas, refilling of the nalas, looking at junction improvements, looking at the urban greens and open spaces. So there was a lot of thought that went into what the future of the city should look like. And then when we look at the PAN City, this is where a lot of the tech components came in, of looking at an integrated control and command center through which multiple of these city services could be delivered, monitored, and managed. Right? So this includes So this includes all of our not just the integrated and control command center, but the entire solid waste management, looking at the security and surveillance which is managed by the city as well as the police. Looking at the smart lighting in like traffic management systems, and many of the other things related to environmental pollution and so on. Right. So if we So, I was just showing you some of these pictures of what this integrated control and command center looks like. And again, looking at, so this, has been really the nerve center and the war room of the entire effort over the last several years. With GIS mapping, you can see every city, you can see every street, you can see where the movement of people, the movement of traffic, all of that can be controlled through here. Multiple city departments are actually sitting in this integrated control and command center. And because of co-location, a lot of activities and coordination can happen. So just as an example, very recently it was in the news, it was highlighted by Mohua, a small child from a very modest family, 2-year-old, got kidnapped. And through the coordinated efforts of the ICCC as well as the police, the child was found. The person who had actually kidnapped was tracked from the city into the outskirts of the city, and the child was brought back to his parents within a very short period of time. So that's just a very small example of how smart cities and all of the urban infrastructure and the technology infrastructure that is being put in place can impact citizens and their lives. And that's an extreme case, but on a day-to-day basis, there is a lot more of visibility into what the city is doing. So moving on, if we look at these are just some of the ingredients of all of the cameras that get put onto the street. You'll see it as we walk around in Mumbai. We have all of these security and surveillance cameras. We have the traffic cameras, which are looking at traffic violations, automatic number plate detection. Now India actually has a national system. So anytime you have a vehicle that is being registered into the NIC site, and there's a national database of all vehicles. And as the vehicles are going past, and if there is any violation, it's automatically tagging it back to you, and you're getting it either in your app or you're getting it via your messages. And in some cities, they're doing an additional, by post, sending out of this information. But again, this is all part of it. If you look at the heritage area, as I mentioned, there were at least 70 odd historic monuments of major and minor importance. So major importance being let's say an Agra fort in addition to Taj Mahal, but there are many smaller monuments as well. So looking at that entire area, the paving, the roads, the access points, how would tourists move from one place to the other place, the heritage conservation and the upkeep and upgradation of some of these, the revitalization of some of these buildings was also something that was envisioned and done as part of this. Junctions improvement. Again, a lot of traffic. I think the Commissioner of Police was here, and we have, talking about traffic later on today. But junction improvement actually can lead to ease of movement of traffic, and then that eases how people move through the city. So again, looking through. There was a lot of streetscaping that was done of major roads as well as the minor roads. There were a lot of citizen-centric smaller projects. So if you look at facade improvements, there were public e-toilets, the drain cleanage, micro-skill center, municipal schools were upgraded as part of it, digital classrooms were put in place in the municipal schools. Agra has also put in some things on smart e-health, so digital health centers, digital kiosks, housing improvement for the people in Tajganj, which is really the low-income neighborhood surrounding the main Taj area. All of that was done. So as we see, the impact of it has been that in the last several years, since Mohua has started ranking cities, Agra has been number one on multiple occasions. It's a monthly ranking that comes out of cities and an annual ranking as well. And Agra has been number one in the country in many of these rankings. It's consistently every month on month been in the top 5 cities in terms of the implementation of all of the work, the public infrastructure, the civil infrastructure, the technology infrastructure, all of them coming together in the last 5 years. They've won specific awards for the the ICCC for digital literacy. The Agra model has actually for COVID response was something that was touted in the early days of COVID and taken to many of the cities. Now, if we link it back to the ease of living, you'll see that all of the work that was done actually links back into the pillars of the ease of living index. And there's a very close linkage of the work that is done through smart cities and through the municipal corporations with this ease of living index. And Mr. Chauhan had talked about this earlier, and again, there's a citizen perception, but there are the actual elements that we are talking about of the work done. In ease of living, Agra has actually improved from 55th to 35th, and it has 24th in the municipal performance index through this period, after the entire smart city work happened. The other important thing that's happening today is that we are actually moving from the communication and information age into this coordination age, where it becomes very important for a city to deliver its services in a coordinated way with departments coming together to actually deliver something. If there is an emergency, it's not just the police, but many other departments that need to come together. So just as an example, the Agra model during COVID, the local WHO, the hospitals sent their teams on here, the city public health department, the police, the actual the civic services, all of that was being coordinated and managed, the coordinating of different clusters within the city, looking at contact tracing, it was really extremely well managed in terms of how a smart city and its infrastructure can help deal with something which was unprecedented, unplanned. There was no playbook for any municipal commissioner to deal with these things, and the city and its infrastructure was able to come together and deliver in time. So just setting the context, there's a lot of digitalization that's happening in India across the board. And if we look at it, as we look at the economies of tomorrow, we're looking at a lot of instrumentation, we're looking at a lot of digital transformation, looking at a lot of collaboration. Right? So when we are looking at all of this, and mobility again, is a huge part of it. We've been working with Delhi Police, with the traffic police for the entire traffic management system and the digital transformation of the traffic management. So that's just one city, but many cities are now coming up with looking at their traffic control and command rooms and looking at the traffic management systems to see how they can change things. Right? So that's one of the next phases that is coming. Quality of life, safety and security, there's a lot of work happening across cities in looking at the safety and security metrics and looking at surveillance and looking at how responsively, in a responsive way, the police can respond to any incident that happens in any city. So if you look at quality of life, there are many softer factors which actually do get neglected in terms of budgets. So things like health and things like education typically have been 2 to 5% of the budget of any smart city. And going forward, that's one of the key areas where cities will need to focus. And while it starts with the vision, there's a lot of breakage that happens, right? And that breakage can happen in terms of the intent of the actors, because it's a multi-stakeholder system. There is the government, there is the city and its authority and its actors, there are the citizens and the businesses. So there is a lot of intent and collaboration and people and process management that needs to come together for cities to perform. And the breakages, we need to understand where those breakages happen. So if we, just as a ending note, while we have made a lot of progress through these missions and through all of the work that has happened on the ground, if we look at the global indices, we are actually quite poor across the board. So in the Global Livability Index, the first city out of India is Mumbai, and it is at number 117. If we look at the most congested cities in the world, we have Delhi and Mumbai and Bangalore close following in the top 10. In the most polluted cities of the world, 14 out of top 20 are in India. So there is a lot of work, really that needs to be done still. And we've made good progress. I was very happy to share with you what Agra has done, and many other cities have done, but there's a lot to do. And that's where we all need to come together and make a difference in the future. Thank you.
Taj has been one of the 7 wonders of the world, but I'm sure with this kind of technology, wonderful things are happening in Agra. Big round of applause for Amisha.
Yes, thank you for that splendid presentation. And next is Mr. Dilip Shekdar, Advisor Planning Mumbai Port Authority and former expert advisor Naya Raipur Development Authority. So.
Namaskar, and thanks to IMC for giving me this chance for presenting this project, which is very paid project for me. My presentation will be in 2 parts. In the first part, I will give the planning intervention by which the life of the citizen has made more comfortable, and the second part is the digital platform implemented in the city. In the year 2000, 3 states were newly formed. One was the Chhattisgarh, second was the Uttarakhand, and third was the Jharkhand. So Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh capital city was Raipur, but the condition of the Raipur was not cohesive for the capital city. Actually, one of the government of India institution was converted into a Vidhan Sabha. One hospital was there that converted into Mantralaya, and most of the government offices were in the private buildings. So the government decided to have a completely new greenfield city, which is called as Naya Raipur. But the capital will remain Raipur, but the new city will be only administrative capital. So the main function of the city was to have administrative capital, but at the same time it was also envisaged that it will become a financial hub of the entire central region. It will also generate employment, and it will have the state-of-art physical and social infrastructure. More emphasis was given on the environment, where it will be green and smart city, conservation of the environment and existing landscape, and the promotion of non-polluting industries. And most overall on that, it should be city for all. Then it should give the citizen-friendly environment and also sense of security and comfort. Actually, it is a pride for the Maharashtra that Maharashtra has helped this government to plan and develop the city. Actually, the government contacted the government of Maharashtra to help in designing. The government of Maharashtra asked CIDCO to help them. At that time, I was working with the CIDCO. And then we started helping the government by entire planning process and implementation process. This started in 2002. The first task was to selection of site, because selection of site is always a debatable issue, but we got it done through the experts. And this site is nearly 20 kilometers away from the Raipur city, to the east of the Raipur city, sandwiched between the 2 railway lines. The structure of the city is that it is in 3 layers. The first layer is about 80 square kilometers, which is the core city, which is expected to house 5.6 lakh population. Actually, don't compare with the Mumbai. Our one suburb is also more than the city of Chhattisgarh. But for a capital city of Raipur, where at that time the population of the Raipur was itself 10 lakhs. So 5.6 lakhs is the estimated population, but the holding capacity of the city is more than 30 lakhs. Because the city we plan not for 10 years or 20 years, but for 100 and 200 years. So considering that period, we designed the entire infrastructure planning. The second layer was the green zone, that is the buffer zone, which will provide all the basic needs of the city. And the third was the airport zone, because the existing airport was already there in the city area. Another task was the acquisition of the land. In India, getting a land for any project is very, very difficult, but we evolved a very lucrative package, and 59% of the land has been purchased by agreement only. And 33% was already in the government land, and hardly 8% is yet to be acquired. Can you come back? So the entire acquisition was completed within 2 years and 85% was land within our possession. Next. So this is the plan where the entire city is divided into 40 sectors, and mainly the entire area has got green corridors, right from top to bottom, green corridors are present. The existing lakes have been preserved and developed as a tourist spots with a garden around it. Actually, one lake itself is a 1,000 hectare garden in the heart of the city. This is the master plan, where this is a linear pattern because it is very easy for the transportation. We also experienced in Mumbai. This is 8 kilometer wide and for 24 kilometer long. At the center, we provide the facility corridor because this is required for the people's movement. Entire north to south, we have got facility corridor with all the facilities required for day to day as well as for the entire community has been provided, so that the maximum walking distance from any sector is not more than 4 kilometers. Then the entire capital complex plus the CBD area and commercial area has been placed at the center. So unidirectional traffic is avoided. The north side is basically for the industries and south side is basically institutions and sports activity. We adopted the grid pattern because it helps in high-speed roads and alternative roads for every destinations, and is in providing the infrastructure and suitable for public transportation. The first time we have implemented the TOD principles and transit-oriented principles, where no destination is more than 800 meters from the transit station. So it is within the walking distance of any transit station you can go in the city. Next. As far as the connectivity, it has got multimodal connectivity. The airport is already there in the city. It is connecting to the entire nation. But now it is becoming an international airport also. The Raipur city, which is 20 kilometers away, is already connected by the two railway straight lines. We also developed a BRTS from Raipur to Nayar and within the Nayar. This is the dedicated lane was brought in the each road, and the BRTS is running today. Then we have independent railway line for the Nayarapur to Raipur, from which the entire city nation will be connected by the Raipur. And this entire system is on the digital platform. Next. We also emphasize on the NMT, where the public bike, cycle tracks and pedestrian tracks, about 55 kilometers we have implemented. We have a public bike sharing system in the city. Next. And the more emphasis on the garden plots. Entire area, we sit in the city, we have got about per capita 34 square meter per person. In Mumbai, it is 4 square meter. Next. And all the roads has got LED. I think first time in India we have got LED lighting with remote control. It has saved nearly 50% the power for the city. Then the water supply, sewerage, everything is provided. We have got a robust telecom system in nearly 44 kilometer fiber optic place has been placed. Then we have got electric network, 24/7 power supply. Next. Then as far as social facility also, every facility has been provided. Nearly 67 schools are presently running in this area. We have got high levels of health facility also, like from Sri Satya Sai Baba has got children's heart specialty. Then we have got AIMS hospital, then we have got private super specialty hospital along with the government general hospital also. As regards schools also, we have got higher education. Next. We also brought Indian Institute of Management there. We also have National Law Industry. We have a triple IT, IIM Industry and Hotel Management System already in the place. This all social facility is not for the city, but it is for the entire region. Entire state is taking advantage of these facilities. Next. As regards irrigation, actually the city has got Asia's largest man-made jungle safari, which spreads around 800 acres. Actually, Chhattisgarh is very famous for the forest. 40% of the forest is in the Chhattisgarh state. We have got in Central India's most advanced and one of the biggest lesser and musical fountain in front of the Mantralaya. Then lot of central parks have been developed. For cultural people, for artisans, a complete Muktangan has been developed where the artists can come over there, build their artifacts and then also show them. Next. Then as regards sports, cricket stadium was already there. We developed a 18-hole golf course on 139 acres. Then number of sports centers are there. And we have got immersive dome for the vacation. Next. Most of the government departments have been already shifted in the new city, including the Mantralaya. Vidhan Bhavan is under construction. And all the HODs on all these things are already shifted in this city area. Next. The sectoral planning is unique in this area where all the income groups are there. Next. Within the sector, the life is very safe and for children and as well as senior citizens. It is not with the heavy traffic. Next. And then the regular commercials, malls, etc. already developed. Next. And large scale plantation we did in the intercity. In the buffer zone particularly where the government land was available, the entire use for the large plantation. Next. And then economy activity has all started coming over there, like non-polluting industries, IT parks, electronic manufacturing center, commercial retails, etc. Next. And now new projects are there, like sports city, health city, hotel clusters, film city, and amusement parks. So all these are in pipeline. They will be joining over there. Next. Now the second part is the digital platform. Right from the beginning, actually this what our Rajyapal said that this is the city where the smart city concept has been started. In 2008 itself, we did the planning for the smart infrastructure. All the sewerage, water supply, etc. were SCADA compliant. And this central commanding center has got the smart governance, intelligent transport management, city service systems, smart network, data center, intelligent building management systems, and utility management system. The entire thing governed in the central data center. Next. All the water supply, electric supply, sewerage systems are managed 24/7. Any defect in the line, it is immediately reported and corrected. Then we have smart governance which deals with the single window access, GIS-based land management, utility management, building plan approval systems, grievance module, and all things are available in the web, mobile app. So people can just go through the app and pay the bills, put their grievances, any complaint is there, that is addressed immediately. Next. So these are the benefits to the citizens. Single window for all citizens, like services like land allotment, water connection, billing, payment, BRTS traveling planning, RTR grievances, etc. through mobile application web portal. For example, BRTS, they can real-time movement of the buses can be done on this side. Improved quality of services and enhanced service level through faster turnaround on citizen requests and applications. Then they also developed a differently application for the differently abled people. Then management of rehabilitation of annuity payment. All the PAP annuity payment is through the app only. Automation of building permission process. Then 24/7 uninterrupted water power supply with real-time monitoring. Then continuous city servicing through bullet and PTZ cameras. All CCTV cameras have been put on the intercity to ensure citizen safety. Then enforcement of traffic rule with speed detection and ANPR cameras. So this way, the entire traffic police sits in the control room and he goes on looking at the data shared by the cameras and then take action for any violation of the speed, any violation of the traffic rules. Next. Bringing accountability to the city because the entire monitoring by the CEO, it is available on the CEO's monitor. Then the center act as a single group for reporting and monitoring and control. Entire assets have been GIS mapped, people have access to that. Online incident tracking and management. Then the fast approval for all these things and city KPIs dashboard to ensure efficient administration. And this system is so robust that any service if tomorrow comes, it can be incorporated in the system. Next. And future innovation is that we are also implementing the bioswales by which the rainwater will be collected through a pipeline and percolated and it will be used for the non-potable purpose. Then we have proposing for a smart metering system, then organic waste to manure and smart parking. Next. And these are the awards the city has received, that is Asia Smart Cities, then National Award for Excellence in Smart Cities, then Smart City ICT Project 208 and Best Smart City Initiative 2018. Next. That's all. This is the story of Naira.
I know that this is a Chhattisgarh belt, whether, where Jagdalpur and Bastar-like areas, which is supposed to be most backward areas of India, if a technology and smart city technology can do this in such areas, this is possible through political will and civil society's participation. Thank you and big round of applause for him.
Thank you, Mr. Shekdar, for the detailed presentation. And now the last speaker of the session, Mr. Shailesh Pandey, Chief Sales Officer, Fino Payments Bank. He will be talking on financial inclusion and its impact on ease of living. Mr. Pandey.
I know we are running a little late, but we have saved the best for the last, so valedictory please do. I think few minutes here and there or 45 minutes and here there will not make much difference, but it will be very, very dejecting personally for IMC and me if we do not have a good quorum at the last session. My request, please stay back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chauhan. It's a privilege and honor, and I thank IMC for providing this opportunity. I won't go through a presentation because the topic which I would like to talk about, the financial inclusion, is something that all of us have been enjoying for many, many years. But most of the people, I would say, at the bottom of the pyramid has not been using for it. So what is that? So financial inclusion is nothing but a basic savings account, which can be used for the purpose of savings, investments, credit, and anything and everything that we use in our life. Having a simple thing like a banking account was a challenge because the access in the rural and the semi-urban market was that the only way a bank used to approach was either through a branch or let's say an ATM, which came about 3 decades back. But the problem is that there are less than 1 lakh branches, just about 2.2 lakhs ATMs for a population of about 140 crores, primarily into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 type of markets. So what do you do with that? You'll be surprised that till 2007, which is about 60 years of independence, the only way a banking service can be provided was through a bank employee. In 2006, RBI understood the problem. They came out with a guidelines called as business correspondent model. In that model, a non-bank can be employed, which means anybody actually can provide banking service in the framework, and that's when Fino was born out of ICICI Bank, and we started this company with the technology as a backbone to provide services. So initially we provided services of a banking account, services like Manrega, and a lot of other services which helped us to understand the bottom of the pyramid consumer. And based on our experience in 2014-15, RBI thought that this needs to be expanded, and they came with this concept called as Payments Bank and Small Finance Bank. So Small Finance Bank was on the micro credit part of it, whereas Payments Bank is more on the micro payment and the micro account, I would say. We being one of the pioneers of this model and trying to understand the model, and there were other players actually who withdrawn. The only players who till they provide the services apart from us is Airtel Payments Bank, Paytm Payments Bank. You have India Post, Jio. Jio, though it is there, but has not done much work in that space. When we went to the last, in fact, 2014 is where Honorable Prime Minister came with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, whose basic objective was to provide accounts. Honorable Governor mentioned in his speech that there were 47 crores accounts which are opened in this initiative. Just imagine, 40% of these people never had a bank account just about 8-9 years back. And bank account is just a start. Just opening an account is one start. How do you access? Today for us, we being digitally native, we can also do through a mobile as such. But otherwise, if you go back 2 decades, we used to visit a branch or an ATM to do a typical banking transaction. Now, how to do a place where there is no bank branch, or maybe the branch is 50 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 100 kilometers away in that space. So when we were launching the bank, we thought, if as a country we have not been able to solve a problem for 67 years or 70 years, what is that different we have to do to ensure that, we do it better? So we went to the customers, thousands of customers, we did a survey and asked the questions. And a couple of challenges which came was, the first thing was that it took about 3 to 4 weeks to open an account. And in the rural, it was actually 6 to 8 weeks. And there was a lot of documentation. So we thought, if this is the level of which is there, what we'll do? So came up with a process where we opened the account in 4 minutes with an Aadhaar card and a PAN card, simple. We just removed the complexity out of the game. So though this happened, the guy had an account, how do you access? The biggest and simplest way to access is through a debit card. Now debit card is couriered to you, the PIN comes to you as a courier, right? How do you courier in a village of 100 people population, both from a cost and safety security point of view? So we came with a process where we generated green PIN on the go and we delivered a debit card. Even people sitting in this room cannot have an account with a debit card with a PIN in 10 minutes, but we deliver in the far most villages in the world. Today, you go to Bastar or any other Naxal affected geography where we worked really deep into that stuff. A customer just walks with his Aadhaar card and if not PAN card, Form 60 also works in that way. Just an Aadhaar card and the account is opened with 10 minutes with a debit card with the green PIN. So the issue, which was process heavy, I would say, was put out in that stuff. The second question, which was the biggest challenge, was the bank branch is 50 kilometers. How do I go there? It's a cost and time I have to go and spend there. We said, don't worry, we will open next door. So all the Kirana shop owners, all the mobile stores which were there. As I was telling you, there are less than 1 lakh branch. There are less than 2.2 lakh ATMs in the country. We alone in the last 8 years have 1.3 million banking outlets in the country. 6 times of ATMs, 12 times of bank branches which are there in the country just by Fino. And if you look at the ecosystem, we have more than 3 million outlets, which means a guy has to just walk to his market, which is a small shop, in that small market, the Dehadi market which is there. Just go, there is a guy who will help you out to do the assisted banking in that space. So with the accessibility, see for us, the accessibility is very easy because on the palm, which is on the digital phone, we can access our accounts, right? But for the guy who doesn't have a smartphone, because 50% of India still doesn't have a smartphone, and financial literacy is another issue that even if they have a smartphone, they are not comfortable, doing a particular transaction. So we reduce this issue of distance where they have to travel, and travel nobody likes because cost effort which is there. So we first, pulled out the issue of account opening, then we pulled out the issue of access. That third, even if an access, how do I go and do that access? People like us, have passbook, checkbook, we understand all those stuff. How do a person who's not literate, who can't sign a checkbook, who can't put a pay slip, because if you go to a bank branch today, I'm sure you would have the experience where somebody would have asked you, "Arey, mera ye checkbook bhar do na, ye mera pay slip bhar do na," because the guy fundamentally is not comfortable, doesn't understand, has lack of knowledge. We said, okay, we will launch a bank which is paperless. There will be no paper. So today, if a guy wants to do a transaction, he just walks in. He doesn't have to remember his account number also, because that's another challenge. Because account number याद रहेगा तो पासबुक लेके आना पड़ेगा. तो पासबुक प्रिंट करके गांव में कहाँ से देंगे? मतलब उसके लिए वापस 50 किलोमीटर जाना पड़ेगा. So we said, don't worry, just come with your mobile number. So I go with my mobile number. My account is there. He knows the balances, the agent which is there. You just authenticate through a biometric. Aadhaar made it very simple. If there would have been no Aadhaar, no mobile penetration, the jam trinity which we talked about, we would have taken more years to do that. But just one simple biometric ensures. And remember, a signature forgery is far easier than a biometric cloning, which is very tough. If it's not linked to bio account, don't worry, you'll get an OTP on a mobile and you do a transaction. So imagine a guy walks into a bank branch where he has to fill up a pay slip or a checkbook depending upon the transaction of deposit and withdrawal. Whereas a guy in the rural, he just goes, tells his mobile number and his transaction, whatever he wants to do, which is deposit. What do you do? Deposit, transfer, and withdraw. These are 3 basic transactions any banking wants to do. And you do it within 30 seconds to 2 minutes, which if you take a token, for withdrawal, will take you, anywhere between half an hour, 2 hours, depending on which bank branch which is there. It might sound very, very different sitting in Mumbai, where we have 5,000 ATMs, we have, so many financial access in that case. But in that location, it's a privilege. And the privilege which all of us enjoy out here is the privilege, in fact, in a better way, we have given to that last mile. Because that financial access means financial planning, means he can do his business, he can get his money, he can deposit his money. He doesn't have to put his money inside his house or near the pillow or give to somebody else who is better equipped to understand in that way. He has the control. and we have seen a very strong transformation happening to UPI. UPI has ensured that all the payments can also be done, and with the accessibility which is there on the ground, the entire digital. So there is a clear shift which is happening from which we have seen ourselves where we have moved to mobile. In the rural also is happening. So we are part of that. We have an app, we have a UPI transaction. So suddenly financial access, which was a clear hassle, jhanjat is what we used to call in that case, today is the most easiest way of doing it. And for a person who is financially literate, for a person who never had a financial access, and for a person who would have never thought a decade back that such things can be possible. The ecosystem of Aadhaar, the innovation of, I would say, the regulator, which is Reserve Bank of India, and the ability of private players like us has ensured that the 47 crores Jan Dhan Yojana. I'll just give you some examples. When COVID happened, PM declared that there will be 500 rupees given to each woman in the rural space. It went to the account where we ensured when everybody was home, our bankers were there to deliver that money to the ground. When there was a flood in Bihar, the rural village doesn't have access to any of the roads in that way. Our guy through the boat went there and ensured whatever cash was available to the guy. Because fundamentally the brick and mortar structure is not there. It is a mobile bank, but in an assisted way in that way. So all those things which we were thought through, which were very difficult in that hinterland part of it, which also is true for a lot of urban markets, I would say, we were able to break that, which has led to a way that today we are a profitable bank, we are a listed bank, we have 3 years profit. The model which was questioned that nobody will be able to run through in that matter. And as a corporate person from a corporate staff, it's a matter of pride that we have been able to create such a huge impact on the last mile in a way where his DBT benefit, we have heard those statements, 85 paisa kahin aur jata hai, 15 paisa kahin aur jata hai. Today through DBT you can identify guy, you can make the payment without any leakage in the system which is there. And there are studies which say that the government has saved 50,000 crores because of this entire Aadhaar based payment which has happened. So from a governance point of view, to ensure that the money of benefit goes to the person who actually deserves. This has been a great innovation in that class. We are very happy to be part of it. The journey is still on, and I believe that we will keep solving problems as we go ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you so very much. And as we move towards the end of this special session, I would request Mr. Chauhan to please present mementos to all the experts, beginning with Madam Harshika Singh, Municipal Commissioner, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Madam Amrita Chaudhary, Director, Gaia Smart Cities. Mr. Dilip Shekdar, Advisor, Planning, Mumbai Port Authority, and former Expert Advisor, Naya Raipur Development Authority. And Mr. Shailesh Pandey, Chief Sales Officer, Fino Payments Bank. Thank you. I request all those on the dais to kindly join us in the audience. I request Mr. Chauhan to please be seated. All right, so all right. One group picture, please. Joining us. I request Mr. Singhania and Mrs. Somaya to please remain with us on stage as we begin the valedictory session immediately. I invite Shri Praveen Kumar Padwar, Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic, and Shri Lokesh Chandra, General Manager, Brihan Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport Undertaking. Hearty welcome to you, sir. A very warm welcome to you. So let us commence this valedictory session by calling upon Shri Praveen Kumar Padwar, Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic, Traffic Police Headquarters, to talk about Mumbai Traffic Police delivering ease of living for Mumbaikars.
Good evening to all of you. I know all the people can blame me for all the delays, traffic snarls, and whatever problems are there on the road. But I thank IMC for inviting me to share what we do in Mumbai traffic with you. So Mumbai, being a mega city, which has a population of, I've written it 1.3 crores, but it is 1.3 billion. 1.4 crores. And area is of only 483 square kilometers. Road length is only 2200 kilometers, which is less than all the big cities in India. The number of vehicles, private vehicles in the city, registered private vehicles are 48 lakhs. But if you take into consideration Mumbai metropolitan region, which includes Thane, Navi Mumbai, Mira Bhayandar, the number of registered vehicles are around 8 million. And apart from that, so many vehicles come from other cities like Pune, Nasik, Mumbai, Gujarat, and other parts of the state and the country. So, and the number of taxis are 1.2 lakhs, number of auto rickshaws 2 lakhs, local train passengers every day commuting by local trains is 75 lakhs, and best passengers are 33 lakh. I don't know, sir, this figure is right or wrong, but this was 3 years back before COVID. 33 lakhs daily. 35 lakhs. Sir. So available public parking is only 60,000, and a requirement of public parking I'm saying, it is 6 lakhs. So if you take into consideration the vehicle density, means number of vehicles per kilometer on the road. So Mumbai has others, if you see, Pune has around 350, Kolkata 320, Chennai around 300, Bangalore around 150, Delhi 108. But we in Mumbai have more than 600. I just calculated it, more than 800 vehicles per kilometer on the road. So vehicle density is highest in India. And the simultaneous infrastructure works which are going on, we all have seen that. Metro works going on, coastal road works going on, stormwater drainage works going on, road improvement works going on, cable laying works going on, water pipeline works, sewerage work. So this reduces the carriageway and lane widths at many places, increasing the congestion. So at present, at 565 locations, works are going on, and 200 kilometers of roads have been closed for these works. So these are the additional challenges which we have. So important of them are the older buildings, they have no provision for parking in all the areas in the city. Then same day, same time for all offices, establishments, closing or poor maintenance of old bridges and roads. So all the bridges which are railway over bridges, they have conducted security audit, and most of the bridges they have declared as not safe as per the security audit. So we have closed so many bridges, you know, must be knowing Gokhale Bridge, the Karnak Bridge in the city. So there are punctures on the dividers which are used for taking U-turns. There are handcars and other slow-moving vehicles which are plying at the same time with all the luxury cars and heavy vehicles, buses. Marriage grounds, clubs, schools they don't provide parking spaces. There are misuse or non-use of approved parking spaces. High parking rate at airports and other establishments. It turns some drivers away and they park on the streets. And taxis and autos plying even after permits have expired. So these are some other additional issues or additional challenges we face. So the team to meet these challenges, we have 4,000 officers and staff, which is the sanctioned strength of Mumbai Traffic Police. So what are the efforts we are taking to manage the traffic in the city? So first is the on-the-street regulation of traffic. So our staff, our officers, constables, they're standing on the road and on the junctions, managing the traffic. Then enforcement of law, removal of obstructions to traffic, towing and clamping. So even if a single vehicle breakdown takes place on the road, then it causes traffic jam of at least 15 to 20 minutes. So we have to remove those vehicles immediately, and we do that every day. Coordination with stakeholders like PMC, MMRDA, MSRDC, BEST, and other agencies. Facilitation of emergency vehicles and aid in case of accidents. Emergency vehicles like ambulances, or when there is a road landslide, building collapse. So we provide green corridors for all these emergencies and in case of accidents as well. So what special efforts we are taking? So one is traffic monitoring. So through CCTV cameras, we have more than 5,000 CCTV cameras, and we monitor those CCTV cameras through our control room. Around the clock, these CCTV cameras are monitored, and wherever there is a congestion, we create incidents report. That incidents report is sent to the concerned traffic chowki, and then that issue is resolved. At least they try to resolve the issue. Then we have Google Maps. One team is looking at the Google Maps wherever there are red lines or the traffic jams. Then a team is sent there. They make full effort to clear that traffic jam. Then we have Twitter, Mumbai Traffic Police as well as Mumbai Police Twitter handle. You must be knowing that Mumbai Police Twitter handle has 5 million followers. And even our Mumbai Traffic Police Twitter handle has around 85,000 followers. So whatever complaints we get from this Twitter handle, we try to resolve those complaints. We have MTP app, and MTP app has more than 13 lakh, it has been downloaded by more than 13 lakh vehicle drivers, and we receive complaint on MTP app as well. And we have a helpline number, 9454 or 999999. So on this number also, helpline number, we get many calls and complaints about traffic. So we try to resolve them. Then we have heavy vehicle restrictions in the South Mumbai and on all the arterial routes. If heavy vehicles come in South Mumbai, then there will be traffic jams on most of the roads. So all the heavy vehicles can ply in South Mumbai only from 11 o'clock in the night to 6 o'clock in the morning. But since the infrastructure works are going on, we are giving permission to some heavy vehicles, and that too during non-peak hours. Then there are heavy vehicle restrictions on arterial roads also, like on peak hours. We know that the southbound traffic is the peak hour traffic in our city and north in the morning. And northbound traffic is the peak hour traffic in the evening. So during that peak hour traffic hours, we don't allow heavy vehicles to ply on those southbound or northbound stretches. Then we have e-enforcement of e-challans, speed detection cameras, MTP app. Also we get complaints and we issue challans through MTP app. Then multimedia we have in the traffic control room where we monitor CCTV cameras, and if there are violations, then challans are issued from the control room. Then traffic information to public. So whenever there is any issue of traffic or whenever there is a traffic jam, we give information to FM channels. We have VMS boards on roads, variable message service messaging boards. Then through our Twitter handle, we issue information about the traffic. Through MTP app also we are doing that, and through our website also we issue traffic information for knowledge of people, drivers mainly. So what we are doing apart from that, so whenever you know that southbound traffic or northbound traffic, infrastructure works are going on and the road capacity or the carriageway capacity is not enough to include all the vehicles on that stage. So we create counter lanes every day, southbound in the morning and northbound in the evening. So that counter lane more than 10 kilometers every day on Eastern Express Highway and Western Express Highway. Signal orientation also we have changed at some places. At some places it is clockwise, in the clockwise direction, at some other places it is in the anti-clockwise direction. So social responsibility, we are taking some measures like give way to ambulances, and we are providing green corridors. Like if any patient is airlifted from any part of India, we are giving free access on the road without any obstruction, as well as when any organ has to be transferred from one hospital to the another, or when it has to be sent from Mumbai to any other city or brought from any other city to Mumbai, then we provide green corridor for this organ transportation. Every day we have at least 1 or 2 green corridors in the city, and 1 or 2 lives are saved by, we are also one of the stakeholders in doing that. So public outreach programs we are conducting. We have traffic wardens working with us, RSP, we have road safety patrol, and we have traffic education and training wing. In traffic education, like last year, our staff visited 205 schools in the city and imparted traffic education to 20,000 students in different schools of the city. Before COVID, it was, the figure was 50,000 students, and our staff, they reached out to more than 600 schools and imparted traffic education to 50,000 students. So accident reduction, like through our enforcement drives, many accidents are prevented, or the number of accidents have also been reduced over the years in the city. So this is the on-street regulation. Like we have 1,200 junctions, out of which 625 are signalized junctions, and we have 5,300 CCTV cameras. And floating population also, apart from the people traveling through buses, their private cars, floating population coming from out of Mumbai is around 30 lakhs. At present, our strength is, I told you, about 4,000 people we have. But as CP sir told in the afternoon, that we conducted a recruitment drive for 7,000 constables. We have vacancy of 35% in traffic branch. So one of the major issue is of parking, and the demand for parking, private as well as public vehicles, is 27 lakh. So out of those 48 lakhs registered vehicles in the city, 19 lakhs are 3-wheelers or 4-wheelers. So 70 lakhs are 4-wheelers, 2 lakh auto rickshaws, and other are motorcycles. So demand for parking is very high. Like I told you, old buildings, they don't have parking facility at all, and people think that it is our right to park our vehicles on the road. And even though they are major roads, major arterial roads, they want to park their vehicles on the road only. But for that, some changes need to be brought. So availability of pay and park, we have only 32 PPLs in the city, but not all of them are utilized fully. Some of them are not functional yet. At 91 locations, there is a street parking, and at 11 malls, the parking capacity is 12,000 cars. So major need of the city is parking. So these are some measures we take, like counter laning, then signal orientation in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. We are also hunting for space for parking, like PPLs. Even couple of years before, we had taken best depots for parking of vehicles. And even now, some depots are used for parking, sir. Yeah, malls also, we have conducted their meetings, and we told them to park vehicles of residents during the night in the malls with very less charge. So use of technology, e-challans. Most of our enforcement is non-intervention based. So we are issuing e-challans, and every day 10,000 odd e-challans are issued against the traffic violators. MTP app, we have more than 13 lakh subscribers of MTP app. CCTV and speed cameras. So every year, more than 15 lakh challans are issued. Body-worn cameras, also we have around 1,500 body-worn cameras. We receive complaints, around 15,000 complaints we receive every year on Twitter, and those complaints are also resolved. Breath analysis we are using for taking action against the drunken drivers, and which has resulted in the reduction of accidents in a large number. We have helpline also on which, and WhatsApp numbers on which we receive calls from people. Breath analyzer machines we use in our nakabandis to take action against the drunk drivers, and body-worn cameras for conflict resolution, as well as for smooth police public encounters. We are using body-worn cameras. The Mumbai Traffic app and Traffic Police helpline. So where we stand, traffic congestion wise, TomTom, they publish report every year. In their annual report in 2022, the traffic index ranking of Mumbai was 47. Travel time, they consider travel time, fuel cost and emissions. So time taken to travel 10 kilometers, they took into consideration. Mumbai city, it took 21 minutes and 10 seconds. I know most of the times it is more than that, but average time they have taken. London was the first, which took 36 minutes to travel 10 kilometers, and Bangalore was second. Mumbai stands 47 in that. Ola Institute report, they published ease of moving index on 25th April 2023. Mumbai stands second in the all mega cities in India. They consider all cities which have a population of more than 4 million. So Mumbai was second in that ease of moving index. So reduction in fatal accidents in traffic. In 2017, there were 467 fatal accidents took place in the city. In 2021, it reduced to 376, and 2022, the further reduction of 355. So number of fatalities have also been reduced. So what is the road ahead for Mumbai Traffic and Mumbai Traffic Police? After the completion of Coastal Road, Mumbai Metro and Trans-Harbour Link, certainly the traffic situation will be better. we need to have a relook at the parking policy, because as of today, in the redevelopment projects, you need to provide only one parking for 4 tenements of less than 450 square feet. That policy need to be have a relook by the authorities. Then there has to be underground and stacked parking in most of the places. Then hawking zone implementation has to be done, and the footpaths need to be made walking friendly. Road set-offs for boarding and alighting need to be provided for the commuters. So vehicle scrapping policy implementation should take place as early as possible. Then enforcement, like most of the times it is manual enforcement. It has to be artificial intelligence based. And traffic violations should be connected with vehicle insurance and driving license. Like most of the Western countries, if there is one traffic violation, then your insurance premium goes up. Even if there are more than 2 or 3 violations, the license is cancelled for his whole life. The driver doesn't get license again. So that changes in the law need to be made. So what citizens can do? Like there has to be self-discipline. The citizens should come with ideas, not only complaints. What should be done to streamline the traffic in the city? Then use more and more public transport. Respect the law. Respect instructions of cops on the road. Then carpooling has to be there, and staggered timing of offices, establishment has to be there for different areas. Do not cross speed limits and don't drink and drive. But most important, what I would like to tell, as the Honorable Governor sir said in the afternoon, that you need to have love for your country and your city. Then only people follow laws and rules of that country, and the desire that I'll make it a better place to live. If everyone has this desire, then we can certainly make the city and ease of living in the city better and better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the valuable insights. I now request Shri Lokesh Chandraji, General Manager, Brihan Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport Undertaking, to speak on best buses delivering ease of living for Mumbaikars.
A very good evening to all of you. At the outset, I am thankful to IMC for inviting me and presenting before you what at BEST we are doing to make the life of Mumbaikars easy. Before starting my presentation, a few lines about this organization. BEST, though most of you must be aware, it's a 150-year young organization which started its humble journey with horse-driven trams in 1873. And it has been always ahead of its times in terms of technology, in terms of innovations, adoption, to make the commuter's experience and consumers' experience best all the times. It is the only utility in India which has got the dual role of electric supply and transportation. The reason behind this was when in 1905 electricity came, the first license was given to the BEST to electrify the trams. Then we started our trams running on the electricity. In 1910, we started double-decker trams in Mumbai. In 1937, this iconic double-decker bus, which is very dear to the Mumbaikars, started running in the city of Mumbai. Now, exactly after 100 years, because we first deployed our ICE bus in city of Mumbai in 1926. In 2026, we are going back again to full electric. Now, this city, Mumbai, the financial capital of India, city that never sleeps, and city that is never at rest, the institution which keeps it at move is best. The few sentences or facts before I state, I think my colleague has already laid the foundation about the traffic situation in the city of Mumbai. And in that background, it is very, very important that we should have a very, very efficient public transport system. If we have to decongest the roads, if we have to reduce the number of cars or private vehicles on the roads, because carrying capacity of these roads are limited, we can keep on adding new roads, but there is a capacity whatever we are creating. So unless we have a behavioral change or we have a situation where most of the people start using public transport, this chaos on the roads will never end. Mobility is a very, very critical element for economical development, and 25% of city pollution comes from vehicular emissions. So now you can imagine the number of vehicle figure my friend has given daily, which is moving on the roads of Mumbai city. As we go to any city, the first interaction which we had is with the public transport system. And it is always a mirror reflection of the development status of that city or state. In Mumbai, we are working to fulfill our vision of shared, clean, and connected mobility, to make our public transport system reliable, efficient, commuter-friendly, and environment-friendly and self-sustainable. Now, most of the public transport systems, what is the main issue? The issue is about the quality and reliability. The quality is due to the fact that most of these transport systems have inadequate size fleet, aging fleet, which is due to their poor financial status. You may not be aware, in the BST for the transport which we are running every day for the Mumbaikars, we are losing 6 crores per day. We are running 2,000 crores every year in the losses. So this poor financial condition again results in the poor quality of service, which again results in the poor ridership. So it's a vicious circle. And coupled with the problem of rising fuel cost in case of the CNG and the diesel, which we have seen during the last couple of years, this situation is getting aggravated. Now, how to improve this situation? So we have laid down a medium-term vision for the BST as well as the long-term vision. Now, you will be happy to know that the data which I have shown here, it gives the picture that as per the global standards, we should have 60 buses per lakh population. We are getting to a population size of 1.6 crores, including Mumbai and our region. So our size of the fleet is 1/3. Actually, we are having only 21 buses against the 60 buses. So we have taken a decision that next 3 years, our fleet size will go 3x, means from 3,300 present size of the fleet, we will be having 10,000 buses in the city of Mumbai by year 2026. We have already placed an order for 3,000 more buses. By end of this year, this fleet size will become double. From 3,300, we will be having 7,000 buses in the city of Mumbai, and out of that, 50% will be electric buses. You will be happy to know that right now, we are running the largest fleet of electric buses in India. We are having 464 electric buses as of now in the city of Mumbai. The reason for going for the electric bus was obvious because the reason for going for the electric bus was obvious because for diesel buses or CNG buses, if we compare the fuel cost running of these vehicles per kilometer, in case of diesel buses is 5 times, in case of CNG buses is 3 times. So when we did our
calculation, one of the major reason for the losses is the basically high cost of operation, and the fuel cost is around 40% of that. So when we did our calculation at the life cycle cost of the vehicles, we realized though the initial capex is very high in case of electric vehicles, but it makes sense if you take a 12 to 15 years life cycle of these vehicles. So we have now taken a decision that we will be going for electric vehicles henceforth, and all these 10,000 vehicles will be electric air-conditioned vehicles. Right now we have around 40% of the vehicles. By end of this year, 65% of the vehicles will be air-conditioned, and by 2026, all 100% will become air-conditioned electric vehicles. The huge impact of this on the environment is evident from the figures which I have put here. Over a period of 10 years, with 10,000 electric vehicles, we will be huge saving of carbon emissions. We will be saving 6.5 million tons of CO2. We will be saving 6,000 million tons of fossil fuel. And this will be basically translating, because we have adopted a new model. Instead of buying the vehicles, now we are going for the bet lease model, where we are paying the operators on the basis of per kilometer which they are running the buses. So this will be requiring an investment of 16,000 crores in the next 3 years in the city of Mumbai, and that will provide 50,000 jobs in terms of the drivers, conductors and supporting staff. When we are looking at that, we are also looking to monetize these carbon credits when we are having such huge saving of the CO2 emissions, and we have estimated this saving of 6.5 million tons of the CO2 emissions will give us minimum 500 crores of in terms of carbon credits. So we are going to monetize that also in next 10 years, 50 crores per year. Now we have recently introduced India's first double-decker air-conditioned electric bus in city of Mumbai, your old double-decker bus in this new avatar. It is already working in Mumbai now. When we are talking about the electric buses, we are also taking care of the energy requirement. Now, normally we are criticized that when we are going for electric vehicles, we are just shifting the pollution. We are shifting the pollution from the cities to the rural areas or the places where the thermal power stations are there. No. In case of our electric buses, we have already tied up for the solar power, which will be the 100% green energy required for charging these buses. Now the reliability part. The reliability is basically associated with the fact that the commuter is not aware about the availability of the buses when he is waiting at the bus stop. In the real time, how can we give the information about the arrival of the buses? So we have already launched a app. This is called BST Chalo app. This app has got 3 distinct features. The first feature is regarding the live tracking of these buses. All the BST buses are having the vehicle tracking devices, and with this app you can see the live location of these buses in the real time. In terms of the waiting time reduction due to this app, now you will be happy to know I have a daily ridership of 35 lakhs people using the best buses. For more than 50 lakh people are using this app. And in terms of saving in the waiting time, because this app gives you the exact arrival time of the bus at the bus stop, if you take a 15-minute waiting time in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, we are saving 8 lakh productive man days of Mumbaikars every month. We are also having a distinct feature in this app which gives the crowdedness in the bus. What does it mean? When you look at this app, there is an indicator green, amber or red. Green means there is a bus, in the bus you have a vacant seat. Amber means you have to travel standing. Red means that it's a overcrowded, it's your choice whether you want to go. So it gives a choice, well-informed decision you can make whether you want to spare your time at house or office and utilize it for some productive work, or whether you want to go at the bus station, or whether you want to take the next bus, which is the information is available on the app. And third thing, which is the major issue nowadays of the change, because the tickets are 5 rupees, 6 rupees, 13 rupees. So all the time there is a basically problem, fight between the conductor and the commuters. So this app gives the basically option of digital payment, and I am happy to share with you within a launch of this 1.5 year now, 25% of Mumbaikars are using digital payments. So we have already got a very good number, but still long way to go. We are expecting that more and more Mumbaikars will start using digital payments. And we are also number one in India to launch the National Common Mobility Card. To fulfill the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of having one nation, one card, we were the first one in the India to launch this National Common Mobility Card. And this card enables you to travel seamlessly in best buses. Now in the metro, you can use the same card. And this same card you can use even in Delhi, Bangalore, or any other metro system where you have the NCMC compliant ticketing system. We are also the first one in India to launch 100% digital bus. What does it mean? Now we have in most of the, some of the buses, we don't have the conductors. To optimize our cost of operation, we have reduced this number of the conductors. So these buses are fitted with the tap-in, tap-out system, where by using the app or by using this card, maybe your Chalo card or maybe your NCMC card, you can pay. While you are getting inside the bus, you tap in, while getting out, tap out, then according to your distance travel, automatically it deducts the fare from the card. Now, I don't know how many of you are still using the best buses, but now we have also have a diversified product for different categories of commuters to fulfill their needs, so that they don't require to use their private vehicles to bring it to either to office or any other place where you are going. So we have recently launched a premium bus service. It's a basically alternative to your self-driven cars. It's a very, very comfortable bus. It's a luxury bus which has reclined seats. Every seat has got a charging point for your laptop or mobile. You can sit in the bus, relax. It's an app-based service where, like the Ola or Uber, you can see in the real time when the bus is arriving, you can select the slot and you can pay digitally. And once you book the ticket, you are assured of a seat. We don't allow the standing in this bus. So you can try this bus. Right now we are operating on 7 routes in the city. To name a few of them, from the airport, South Mumbai, airport to Kharghar, airport to Thane, Thane to BKC, Thane to Andheri, then BKC to Bandra station, and Gundabli, Andheri metro station to BKC. So these are the 7 routes we are operating with 60 buses, with the premium buses, and there is a lot of demand we are getting. So we will be putting 40 more buses in the next week, and we are starting a new route from Kharghar to BKC. And the idea is basically to provide you corporate kind of service which takes care of the people who are coming from the far-flung distances to the city in various parts. And during the day, these buses are available for the short distances, so that you can have a comfortable journey whenever you want to take in the city. And by the end of this year, we are planning 500 such buses. So these buses are ready for being put in your service. We also have a unique product for the last mile connectivity, the e-bikes. In the history of the BST, we started last year. Right now, we have thousands of these e-bikes which are deployed at 200 points in city. For this also, we have an app. The app gives you exact detail where these bikes are available, and you can take this bike after unlocking it by using this mobile app, and then you can pay digitally. And this is also very, very popular for the people for the last mile and the first mile connectivity. We are going to provide 5,000 such bikes by end of this year. Now, as we talk, we have provided this app and cards. We have also changed the way we used to issue our tickets or passes. Previously, we used to have the point-to-point passes where you can only go between 2 points whenever you are having a pass. But now we have changed our philosophy. Now we have adopted like the mobile talking time kind of thing, where you can buy the trips instead of buying the pass for a particular point-to-point pass. These trips are available in the form of 5 km, 10 km, 15 km, 20 kilometers, and you can buy the trip for a week, for 14 days, or 28 days, or 84 days. So you can travel as you want among the different buses across the city, and when you have this pass, your travel cost reduces by 50%. So we are the cheapest, not only in India. For 5 km air-conditioned electric bus travel, you pay only 6 rupees. When you buy this pass, you pay only 3 rupees. So we are cheapest in India. We are cheapest in the world for the public transport. especially for the ladies. When we looked at the data, we realized our commuter data shows compared to the men, women are only 20 or 25% who are taking our buses. So reason was basically the crowdedness in the bus. When during especially the peak hours, the buses are so overcrowded, the ladies feel difficult to get into these buses. So what we have done, we have decided to run ladies special buses during the peak hours on certain routes where we find number of women commuters, and this has helped us. In fact, we are operating 250 buses right now on certain routes which are available during the peak hours, and we are going to increase this number. As I just informed, we are already having placed order for 3,000 more buses. So by maybe in next 2 to 3 months, this number will go to 500, then 2,000. The idea is basically to provide a comfortable journey, and this has also given us good results on the routes where we are plying these buses. The women commuters number has gone by 7x. Initially it was some 4,000 or 5,000, now it's more than 50,000. We are also encouraging the more women to be part of our crew. We are in the history of the BST last year, we deployed 2 lady drivers in the BST buses. And we have 250 ladies conductors, because as we are going to put these 10,000 buses, we need around 50,000 jobs. For this, they should be equal to these ladies, number of job employment opportunities. That's why we have taken that decision. We are also now improving the city infrastructure, our rescue shelters. If you have seen, this is one has come up in front of the NSCI near on the Haji Ali Road. And this rescue shelter is having provision for the library. It has got a display which gives the real-time information of bus arrival. It has also got the charging point for the mobile and the laptop. And it also gives you a QR code there, which gives you the information about the public amenities, nearby toilet, and it also shows the pathway, how to go there. And it also, in case of panic, in fact, especially for the ladies, there is a button, panic button. If you press that, there is a horn kind of sound, which basically attracts the attention of the passersby so that they can help the lady if required. And it also changes the color of the LED, which is on the screen. So from the yellow or blue, it gets red. So basically it gives, in case of any such situation, people can get attentive and help the person who needs the help. So these are some of the images. Now very soon, we have already some 100 of such rescue shelters in the city. Very soon, all the rescue shelters will be converted to these kind of rescue shelters. We also have the cameras in all these rescue shelters, so everything what is happening there is recorded. They also help, in fact, the traffic police, because these cameras also capture the images of the vehicles which are parked nearby, because there is a no parking zone in 15-meter length of these bus stops. So automatically this feed is going to the traffic police and they can issue the challans actually. So next time be careful if you are using these slots for the parking. We also started with a few new services like the Heritage Tour, Hop on Off and the Airport Express, and all our services are very, very popular, especially this Heritage Tour which we do in the evening, but now all day these tours are available, and per day the footfall is quite high. Weekends there is a long queue and we have a long demand. So now with new electric double-decker buses coming in, we will be putting more buses for this Heritage Tour. Before this, I'll just, okay, this is
315 वांद्रे पूर्व ते शिवाजी पार्क, हा माझा रोजचा रूट. आचरेकर सरांसाठी प्रॅक्टिसला वेळेवर येणं खूप महत्त्वाचं होतं. जर BSTने वेळेत पोहोचवलं नसतं तर मी कदाचित पुढे जाऊ शकलो नसतो. आणि आज BST पुढे जात आहे. चांगलं वाटतं, एकदम मस्त.
आता बेस्ट चलो ॲपसह तुमची बस कुठे आहे ते पहा, गर्दी किती आहे ते जाणून घ्या आणि मोबाईल किंवा कार्डने तिकीट खरेदी करा.
पुढे चला BST, पुढे चला.
So basically this was the idea, to make the public transport popular so that more and more people are encouraged to use the public transport, as these celebrities have used this bus during their initial period. And we are also now putting public charging stations in our bus station and parking basically near these bus queue shelters. As I am speaking, out of 55 locations which we have identified, 11 locations are already live where you can charge your electric vehicle. Somebody was asking me what we are doing for this, because now it has become a need of the hour. When you are having an electric car, sometimes there is hesitation whether if I take the car out and something happens to the battery or the charge goes down, what will happen? So now, soon you will have 55 locations in city where you can look for charging. Again, it's a mobile app where you can look for the locations, you can book the slot online, and you can get your vehicle charged. Similarly, as my friend was mentioning about the parking places, we also have a Park Plus app where we are providing our depots for public parking. So during the daytime when our buses are out, you can look for that app and you can park your vehicle paying digitally in the best depots. So this is basically an idea to discourage people parking on the road, which again reduces the carrying capacity of the road, and traffic chaos happens on the roads. These are the few initiatives we have taken in the BST in last 1.5 years, and as I said earlier, BEST name itself also suggests we have always been ahead of times to use technology, use innovations, use adopting the latest environment-friendly technologies to give whatever best service is available to the Mumbaikars, and we will try again and again to be always best. Name is best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the enlightening presentation, explaining varied initiatives taken by BST for making commuting and eventually life easier for Mumbaikars. With those words, time now for memento presentation. Request Shri Anand Singhania, President IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to please present a memento to Shri Praveen Kumar Padwarji, Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic Police Headquarters. Please accept this memento as a token of respect and love. I will request Shri Samir Sumaya, President-elect IMC, to present a memento to Shri Lokesh Chandraji, General Manager, Brihan Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport Undertaking. A token of appreciation and gratitude. And now the vote of thanks will be proposed by Shri Samir Sumaya, President-elect IMC.
I'm delighted to present this vote of thanks after such an interesting and knowledgeable session. In fact, such interesting, knowledgeable sessions that we've had. For our Governor, Shri Ramesh Baisji, we at the IMC are grateful to him for gracing this event with his august presence, his words of wisdom, and we express our gratitude to him for giving us this opportunity to organize this event at the Raj Bhavan. We would also like to express our thanks to our guest of honor, Shri Vivek Vansalkar, IPS, the Commissioner of Police, also for his words of wisdom and guidance to us, especially when he told us that we should not bargain with people who are marginalized, and I think that was very deep, very meaningful. I also wish to express a deep sense of gratitude to our eminent speakers who graced the occasion by sharing their valuable experience and expertise. Harshika Singh, Municipal Commissioner of Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Amrita Chaudhary, Director, GEA Smart Cities. Shri Dilip Sherkar, Advisor Planning, Mumbai Port Authority. Mr. Praveen Kumar Padwal, IPS, Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic. Shri Lokesh Chandra, IAS, General Manager, BEST, Transport Undertaking. Today's conference endeavored to gather different perspectives, and their participation was highly inspiring and motivating. If I may, with the President's permission, just think that I think Harshika Singh showed us how scale at a city level can be done, how segregation can be the soul of a city's cleanliness, and how it can be transformed with the participation of the people, the polity, and the executive. Amrita Chaudhary showed us how Gaya worked to create and envision Agra as a smart city, and as an example, I was just in Agra 1 month after many years, and I could see the difference. And I don't know whether it was that, but it was amazing to see Agra come alive, and it was beautiful as we saw how the city was so transforming. Shri Sherkar showed us how a city can be done at new city at scale with green gardens, planning, roads, and commutes being close by, and how a new capital could be built from scratch with great thinking. Shri Padwal showed us about how, he showed us the constraints that exist, the parking not being there, the congestion being so strong, but showed about how people are tirelessly working to try and work in a difficult task, but working towards a positive goal. Shri Lokesh Chandra showed us how, again, we need to expand fleets, have a Chalo card, electrify, digitize, and just again improve quality. Sir, I used 155 to Grant Road, where I used to take the local train to Dadar. I used to take 83, 84, 86 to my college. I'm going to now encourage my son and daughter to start taking the BST bus. It's fantastic, very inspiring, especially to see that the last Sachin Tendulkar act. I would like to thank our sponsor, Fino Payment Bank, for support of the conference. Amazing to show how in 4 minutes you can open a card, how you can expand access and accessibility across the country. Aadhaar enabled it, but you converted that enabling to reality and put money in the hands or in the bank or in the accounts of so many people unbanked. We wish to express a profound thanks to Mr. Chauhan. So thank you for putting this together. Really inspiring, really knowledgeable. And if all of the people here could also exchange notes, I think this ease of living business, I think you do us all proud. I mean, it's incredible. I really would like to see you do us amazingly proud. So thank you and your team to organize this conference and bring together personalities to speak to this. This conference would not have been possible without the support of the Raj Bhavan team, and a sincere thanks to all delegates for joining. Your participation is encouragement to IMC. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my team at IMC and our president for leading this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we will conclude with the national anthem. Kindly rise in its honor.
जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind. We conclude the conference. Thank you for your time and participation. This is Manasi taking your leave. Have a great evening ahead. Thank you.